All right, I'm going to get this thing actually started here. I will count myself down because Scott isn't here. I must assume all the roles this evening.
Oh man, so much pressure.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to episode 195 of the KBMOD podcast. 5 weeks till 200, where we will do nothing to celebrate this milestone, as is our usual way of doing things.
Wow.
Here, here.
The date, hey, don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. I'm not Scott. I'm not irresponsible. June 21st, 2015 is when this is being recorded. We
did
have
it, Reddit.
Yeah, we did it. We said the date. We have a guest with us. Miss ShannonZKiller is here with us. Welcome to the podcast.
Round of applause.
Whee! I wish I was Nikon. Then I would have my
Yeah.
soundboard.
Crickets. Good.
We need Nikon next time.
Yeah, we need Nikon
time
to
we
just
have a
produce
guest.
it every time. So if you haven't listened to
Oh
this
god,
podcast,
there's iced tea all over this chair.
Hell, Brandon.
So if you weren't watching this live and you're listening on the audio, Brandon had a brush with death right before we were going to start this podcast. A picture frame fell and hit a glass of iced tea, and he narrowly missed having it fall on all his stuff. And
You think
now
you know
his life
true
is
fear,
shattered.
and then something like this happens. I'm
So
sorry for
disappointed.
interrupting.
No, it's
That's-
okay.
It's irrelevant.
So, if you haven't listened to this podcast before, we start with what we've been doing this week with things that aren't related to gaming, such as going to flea markets or having a near brush with death, many of these kind of things. Did anybody do anything this week besides go to E3 or watch E3 related things? Nothing interesting this week?
We tore apart my whole kitchen because we're remodeling it and found out that the people who did it last time half-assed everything. So that was
That's always
not
a
fun.
good...
But we finished it up today, so we're good to go on that. It was just a full day's work extra that we didn't anticipate.
I'm relieved to hear that.
Thanks.
You should be.
I was worried it was going to be too half-assed and it wouldn't be done.
Then they again half-assed it on top of the half-assing.
Well,
We also did a
two
shit job.
half-asses make a whole ass.
Wow.
That is true. That is true.
That's just math right there.
I'm trying to think if I did anything this week besides be scared to death by that picture frame at Saturday morning. The answer is basically no. I did nothing at all. After we do that segment, which really none of us do anything because our lives are empty, meaningless voids, we talk about video games a little bit, what we've been playing this week, and Brandon and Blah probably won't have much. So I will start with Tim. What have you been
Disagree.
gaming
What
on
have
this
I
week?
been playing? I've been playing a lot of Witcher 3 still because that game is endless.
It is
And
endless. How many hours are you into that thing now?
110-ish.
Oh my God.
That's between the
Wow,
two
you
saves.
Scrape the
But
surface.
on my actual main save, I'm probably 95 on that one. So,
Jeez.
that and Hero Siege are the only two games I've played.
Yeah,
So,
it's a good
Hero
game.
Siege is amazing. So,
Did you pick anything up on the Steam sale?
I got Hero Siege obviously because it was 89 cents. I got both of the Wolfensteins, newer ones, just because I never owned them.
You should
I mean to
definitely
play
play
the-
those.
I'll play them eventually, but it's just one of those games where they were cheap enough. And I don't think I bought anything else. I'm trying to scroll through real quick.
Stayed good. You stayed good this week. I didn't even check the final day.
I have most everything that I would ever want now. Yeah, I didn't pick up anything else.
Oh my goodness. Okay, everything is on sale. That's the answer
So
for today.
I got lucky not spending too much money.
Shannon, what video
Yeah.
games did you play this week? Did you delve into?
I only played 2 video games this week. I actually avoided the Steam sale entirely. I didn't buy a single game on it.
You're a
However,
smart person.
I spent over $1,000 buying 2 Apple iPads so that Chris and I could play Fallout Shelter.
Dan, take it back.
Oh my God.
I have sold my soul to the devil. I swear.
I saw the tweets
And it's the devil.
after
is
this purchase
Fallout
occurred.
Shelter. Yeah.
I felt like things did not go well to start off your relationship with Apple computers.
No, I actually escalated to like their customer service like senior manager via email and like yelled at her. And then she gave me a link to give feedback because she still couldn't solve my problem. Basically, someone in the States had bought me a gift card to buy more lunchbox cases to open and get the cards in Fallout Shelter. And when I couldn't use it, I like lost my shit. And I was like, hey, look. By the way, the internet's a fucking thing. The 21st century is now, and you guys suck. And I'm never gonna buy your shit again. And I was right all along. You just proved me right. I went off, man. Like I feel kind of bad for her, but then I don't. So yeah.
Jeez. If you're
Well
listening
then.
on audio, she was almost jumping in her chair talking about opening lunchbox cases.
Yeah.
That's where she's at with Fallout.
It's
I wish
good.
I was that passionate about anything in my life.
I have like you're like the king of monotone voice,
It's
man.
amazing.
Like,
He's
you've
a
had run
robot.
to death, and you're just like, wow, that was really terrifying. I am scared to my core. I'm pretty sure I shat myself. Like you're just so monotone, but I'm just over here like, everything is amazing. Yeah.
It's unfortunate because I can't even see you. I can't see the video right now, so I'm just like I'm having to imagine what you look like talking about Fallout Shelter.
It's like kind of when you look at God, like you go blind. All the excitement just blows your mind. That's what's happening.
Good lord.
Yeah. Not egotistical at all. Good. Also, I played a lot of Ark. Like, well, not a lot. Not as much as I did the first week where I played like 110 hours in 1 week.
Dear God. Witcher 3 levels of commitment.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good though. I just played tonight too. It was fun.
Awesome. Blah, you shunned me earlier because I said you didn't play anything this week.
Yeah,
What'd
that's
you play?
right.
What'd you
That's
play
right.
this week?
You don't know my life.
I don't know
Think
you.
You know me. You don't know me. I have been playing, of all things, the Kung Fury game. And for those of you who don't
What?
know the Kung Fury game,
There's actually a game.
There's a game?
Wait,
Yeah,
there's a fucking game?
there's a
Kung
companion game.
Kung
and
Fury
the
is
controls,
awesome.
The controls are thus: press left to attack left, press right to attack right.
All right.
End
I don't
control
need anything more
scheme.
than that.
And I heard about it. Now, for those of you who haven't seen Kung Fury, it was this like Kickstarter project to release this like half-hour long movie that was
Yeah.
really, really funny. It was like an 80s parody, 80s action parody. And I'm not going to spoil any of it. Just go watch it.
Go
It's
watch
free.
it,
It's
for
on
real.
YouTube. It's called Kung Fury.
And it's
it
a
is-
visual orgasm.
It's so funny. The special effects are actually really good. And I enjoyed it immensely. So there was a companion game released where you play the titular Kung Fury and are just being assaulted on all fronts by Nazis, and you just tap left or right to attack left or right. And the way that it mixes things up, like that, when I heard about the game, I was like, that sounds super boring. I don't care. Like, I get that it's a funny game. It's probably haha, like a good gimmick for like an hour. But I'm not gonna play a game where I just tap left and right to like feel like a badass. And then I saw Future Man Gaming playing it on his stream, and I was like, whoa, this actually looks hard. So I installed it, and so me and Future Man start competing. I was like, oh, I just got this high score. He was about to like hang it up and be like, all right, well, I got as much as I can get out of this game. But then as soon as I said I beat his high score, he was like, oh, well, then I have to beat your high score. So he beat my high score, and then I beat that high score, and then we just like kind of leapfrog back and forth. And then by the time he ended his stream, I was like fully fucking addicted to this game. And it's the game has like a set. It's designed to look like an arcade game, so it has like set high scores that were set by the characters from the movie in the game. And the highest one is Kung Fury himself, has a score of like 250,000. I made it to 183,000, and I'm gunning for him so hard. But the game is so fucking ridiculously hard.
It's $2. I just
Is
bought
Kung
it.
Fury
I'm
Street
buying it
Rage?
right now.
It's,
I
it's
need
like-
it.
Yeah, Street Rage. It's like $2.50. You need to buy it.
Yeah.
I'm
And-
getting this right now. That's really cool.
That
Yeah,
is-
I didn't know he made a game. That's awesome. God,
Yeah,
they're
so
so smart, man. They
So-
did a huge
did,
amount
and-
of that, and they did it perfectly.
It's
Mm-hmm.
so good. The music's really good. The graphics, like it does legitimately look like an old arcade game. And
Yeah.
the way that it mixes it up is certain enemies react to being hit like different ways.
Mhm.
Like the regular little shitty Nazis, you tap them once and they're dead. Then the stronger Nazis start coming out. You have to hit them twice. Then the karate girls come out, and they have to be hit 3 times, but they also teleport around you every time you hit them. So you have to do like a left right left combo or something. And then it just gets more and more complicated the further you go along. It's really fucking hard. And then other than that, I've just been playing like the usuals, Hearthstone, knocking out missions on Counter-Strike, and then I just started Hero Siege that everybody's talking about, and I don't know enough about it to really comment on it.
So
I have to turn off this game or else I'll
yeah,
keep playing it
you
all
do.
podcast.
Yeah, please,
Yeah,
please
you
don't
will.
be totally
You will.
distracted
I
during this
won't. I
podcast.
won't.
There's
It's all
much to
gone.
talk about. There's much to talk about this week.
You think I'm fucking kidding with this game? Like it's really fucking addicting.
Oh no,
Yeah.
you've sold me. I'm gonna play that like all day tomorrow. That shit's happening.
I need somebody to try to beat my high score of 183,000.
All right.
Yeah. So,
And I feel lucky to have gotten that score.
so, anything else? Shall I move on?
I don't. Aside from
Brandon.
E3, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, all right. Brandon, anything new this week or interesting in vid games?
No, not really. No, I played a
Yeah,
lot
you
of
guys
Hearthstone on the iPad while I was gone.
Nice.
I played a bit of Fallout Shelter, which it's pretty cool, but I'm not like nearly as entranced as Shannon is with it. But I think it's like a pretty good game for being a free mobile game, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't really played anything else because I just haven't been home.
All right. I will go next, and now I will also sell you on another game that is actually even cheaper than the Kung Fury game.
Is
And
it cheaper than the Fallout game, which is technically free, even though I spent $1,000?
all right, okay.
That face of
She
shame.
puts her head down. She's like, I really like this, but on the other hand,
It was like you realized what you just said when you finally you
Yeah.
said it out loud, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh.
it's kind of like it kind of hits you and you go, "Oh, that's really gross, man." Oh. It's kind of like when you eat, like, you order that Chinese food from that place. You know what I'm saying? That place, that fucking
I know
place,
that
You know
place.
it's a bad,
and it's like it comes.
but you're so
yeah,
hungry.
I know
exactly.
that place.
You eat it, and then like an hour later, you're like, "Oh shit, no!" Like that was like the worst possible thing I ever could have done. Yes, kind of how I feel a little bit.
so
least you
Hero
can admit it.
Siege, guys. Okay, I've played
Amazing.
10 hours of Hero Siege over this week. Actually, since Thursday, which is when I bought it. It was 89 cents on the Steam sale, and then I bought all the DLC as well, and it ended up being like $8 or something. So Hero Siege is The Binding of Isaac crossed with Diablo 2 in the best way ever. So what you do is you pick a class. There's 8 classes if you buy all the DLC. I think there's 5 if you don't. I think there's a couple classes that come with the DLC. But you basically start it up, you go into Act 1, and then you fight waves of enemies. And you can actually spawn 5 waves at once if you want. You just hit B 5 times and that'll go. And every 6th wave is a boss wave. So a boss will come out. And Act 1 is 30 waves long. And you have a talent tree that is exactly like the Diablo 2 talent trees. Like talents synergize, and you have to, put a point in one to get to the other. And you have stats. You have damage, attack frequency, I guess you could say. It's not even like attack speed.
Attack
it's
speed.
Just, yeah, it is.
Well,
yeah.
It's a good attack speed.
Attacks per second, I think, is what it actually scales on. Damage reduction and health pool. And you just grind out these waves, and if you die, then it's over. But your character retains all gear, levels, and talents and attributes if you die.
Which I
and
love.
You restart.
I love that about it.
So, yeah. You only lose the relics. So relics are what drop after a boss. And if you played a game like Binding of Isaac or Risk of Rain, it's like the items you find in that game, in those games. Like, they're usually pretty powerful and do either a passive effect or a usable effect. And those go away if you die. So those do make you more powerful, but I would argue the gear is even more important in it. But it's like 6 acts or something. I know Josh, a Market Rat, in chat, if you guys see him, he beat the whole game. I don't know what level he got to. But it is just insanely addicting and fun and ramps up pretty insanely after the initial stuff. So I highly recommend it. It is just so addicting. I can tell Blah is on it right now.
Yes, I am.
What class did you choose? What class did you choose?
Pirate. Like, you give me the option of pirate. You think I'm not gonna take pirate? The fuck is wrong with you?
Pirate's pretty fun. I played that one.
So
for a
it's
little
got
bit.
it's got some archetypal classes in it, like a paladin and a samurai and an Amazon. All these things are so ripped out of Diablo 2. Like, I don't know how these guys didn't get sued. I'll be honest. Like, there's even a relic in the game called Frostmourne. So
It looks like Frostmourne.
it looks
acts
like Frostmourne.
It's Frostmourne.
From WoW. So, but yeah, it's super fun, and it's $1.50. I think now it's gone back up in price to $1.49 or something like that. So,
Hey, big
still worth it.
spender.
I know I highly recommend
Yeah,
it.
it is. I just bought it at that price. I feel so ripped off.
So I've been
Oh
playing.
crap! I looked away and I died.
Yeah, that'll happen. Yeah, make sure you pause. Also, the other thing to make sure of is when you're comparing two items, if an item has dropped, make sure nothing is shooting at you, like some of the passive traps on the screen. Because I've died that way before, like 60 waves in, and it was a horrible, horrible time.
So another thing to mention, Dan, that it does have co-op. There's 2-player
Yes.
local co-op and then 4-player
4-player
online
online.
co-op, which we haven't tried yet because it always keeps going down every time I try to sign into it at least.
Yeah, they got so killed by the sale, all their servers went down. But, yeah,
We need to try that sometime.
we need to do 4 players
Because
sometime.
with one person right now, I'm playing a Pyromancer personally, and there's
Pyro
a
is
skill
OP.
that puts out a meteor that comes out, and then multiple like fireballs come out at once, and there's a lot of shit going on the screen at once.
It's
I can only
so fun.
imagine that with 3 other people playing classes that have other just stuff going on in general.
Yeah.
I want to play that with more people.
So I bought 5 or 6 things on the Steam sale, but they were all little things. I bought the Cruise season pass because I know I'm going to play that game again when the expansion for it comes out. Again, the hardest game to recommend ever. It's super fun, but it's not very good, so I still can't recommend the Crew fully. And I bought Distance, which looks like a cool sort of racing game. It's still in early access. I bought Hero Siege, of course. I bought the Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. These were all like $5 or less. So, and I bought this game called Please Don't Touch Anything. I don't know if you guys have heard of this game. So the concept of the game is a dude who is watching like a nuclear, like nuclear launch button in a bunker has to go to the bathroom. So he's like, hey, sit down, but please don't touch anything.
Oh my god.
And of course,
I love it already.
Think about games like Papers, Please, or
Yes.
games like that.
Loved Papers, Please.
Yeah, so it was like $1, and I was like, this looks interesting. There's apparently like a bajillion endings too. So
Oh, is this made by the same
might
developer?
be by the same
It
dude.
looks like it's made by the same
It
people.
looks like
I'm
it.
looking
Yeah.
to
Wait,
the
hold on.
store
4
page.
quarters. 4 quarters.
Graphically, it looks the same. So there's tons of different scenarios in it, and various things will happen. You should check
I
it
wonder
out.
what city that is one of the like things that pops up on the screen. Oh my god.
Yeah,
This is so cool. What a cool find.
yeah, it's $3.50 right now if you're wondering, and there's a
Buying
soundtrack
it.
bundle.
Okay, so I see how this works. You guys invite me onto this show, and then I spend even more money on games.
Yeah.
That's great.
You're
So
welcome.
we're just here to.
You know how much money we make from Gabe?
Yeah, you're like making like
Not
a
a lot.
percentage just off of like
This
everything. that
podcast is on
talk
Steam
about.
Workshop. We get microtransactions. But yeah, so that was the main thing I played, Hero Siege, and I haven't actually delved into Please Don't Touch Anything.
Wait,
very
Hero
deeply,
Siege is a
but-
mobile game? You
Yeah,
cannot
it's on
do this to
Android as
me.
well. It's on
You
Android
cannot
as well.
do this to me. Come on.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Well-
trust it on Android though.
I will.
Everything is everything is kind of somewhat broken in Hero Siege too. Like not so broken you can't play, but there's a lot of bugs. So they're still
I got
working
stuck
on
in
it.
a dungeon earlier today. I had to save out and go back in.
So we do have a guest with us. That means a guest interview for the first time ever, really, a structured one on this podcast.
Are we
So
going legit? Like 200 episodes in?
I know, right? It's been it's been so long. We actually the last time I
still
think,
turn back.
yeah, I know. I think the
Sure.
last thing we did with a legitimate interview with C-Nanners. Was like the last legitimate interview we ever had.
CNanners was
ago
on
was
this
that?
podcast?
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. And
How
then
long ago was that?
oh god, 2013
About a year.
maybe? Was it last year even?
No,
It was
I thought Goldie
early
was
last year, I thought.
last year.
Yeah. And he turned the interview around on us though. He was like, "Well, how'd you guys?" We were like, "Okay." All right, Adam."
Psychology. Nice.
So I have questions because I don't even know how you got started into all this business. It's always a weird path for a lot of people how we got onto
It is,
Twitch
isn't
and
it?
into. So how did you like get started into gaming or into? Did you start YouTubing or did you start pretty much when Twitch started or kind of
Well-
just in TV days?
No. So if we're like, oh man. Okay. So if we go back to like how I got into gaming, it was because
Yeah.
of my dad. My dad bought an NES when I was a kid.
Nice.
Wouldn't let me touch it, which just made me want to touch it more. So, and he had like this old shitty computer that was like a dot matrix screen. And I remember it was like a little 7-inch screen too. And I could play Rogue on it, Rogue ASCII. That was the
Ooh.
first
Oh, shit.
game I ever
Yes.
fucking played. And I played that shit all the time. And I remember the hardest monster was the little letter L, because that was a leprechaun, and he stole all your gold as you went down the dungeon levels. So I never beat it. I was
That was
terrible
an
at games.
asshole. Jesus.
Yeah, he was so bad. I was really bad at all that kind of stuff, but I loved it. But we have a lot of I have a lot of younger brothers and sisters, so we were like pretty poor and stretched thin. So I didn't really have a computer of my own until I was about 19 or 20. Legit.
in that
Like I
same-
used other people's PCs, and that was it. So I started getting into gaming just a little bit after that, and then I found out about Twitch from my friend. Well, actually, I first found out about Twitch because of my brother Paul, who was watching Man vs. Game all the time. But I didn't
Good
really
dude to
care. I
watch.
was like, oh, that's cool. Sure, that seems neat. Whatever, And then like fast forward about a year later. So yeah, early 2012, and I found out about DayZ. I was at a D&D session with my buddies, and they were like, "Oh, there's this new game out. It's totally perfect for you, Shannon. Like, it's all about survival and being a badass, and it's gonna show you how much of a bitch you actually are." Because they just totally thought that I had no courage, right? So, so yeah, it was DayZ, and I started playing. It was DayZ mod. This was like April or May of 2012, and I turned out, yeah, I'm pretty fucking chicken shit. I would just like get on my belly and crawl around in Chernarus, and I wouldn't want to interact with anyone, and I kind of like hid away from everything, and I just like, I was terrible. And so I watched YouTube videos instead. And that's how I found Sacriel, and I found like Squirrel and all of them. And I was just one of those people. Whoa, you're getting a Future Man raid.
Yeah, Future Man destroying the chat right now.
Future man!
Nerf's bad. So yeah, I basically just I got really obsessed, and I was one of those really annoying people in the YouTube comments that was like, "You should totally stream this," It wasn't as cool to me. So sure enough, he eventually did it, and then I was the keener in his chat, putting my hand up in front of the class, like answering all the questions. So in his first stream on Twitch, where I think he got like almost 2,000 viewers or something, I was made his mod, and so I sat there answering all the questions, being a total like loser, and it just kind of spitballed from there, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
the entire summer went by where I would get home from work and immediately I would go on Twitch. That was my life. Like I worked at a daycare, so I was teaching like early childhood, and I basically got home at 2 p.m.
So
immediately.
you were
went
well
on
equipped to
Twitch.
deal with people on Twitch already.
This is why I'm such a good mod, Like I am trained for this shit, yo. So yeah, I was there, and I started feeling really confident in being a mod for Chris, that I started trying to help out in other channels as well. And that kind of went on for several months. And then I went over to England just to I quit my job and I just got away. I did a degree for English literature and history, so it made sense. And I went to my first ever game convention here, which was EGX.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Chris and everybody else, and we hit it off. And I was living up in Leeds at the time, which is really far north. And I don't know, one thing left to another, or went to another, whatever. And it's late. And we kind of were like, okay, well, when's my visa going to expire? Is this a thing? Should I go back to Canada or should I stay here? And then we just kind of decided I'd stay here. I went and got a visa, and then my life's been Twitch ever since. That's
Twitch,
really it.
man, does some
It just
shit.
does some crazy ass methamphetamine shit to your life. You know, like,
That is
I've
pretty
done
crazy.
a lot of meth since starting on Twitch. I'll tell you that. I'm really glad my teeth are all still in. You know,
yeah,
But-
you don't have, yeah, your skin looks good. You're all right.
they're all
Dogs,
fake.
Please. Yeah, we sort of met through all this stuff too, so that was you
did.
know it's been a good thing overall. All these dudes, if you didn't know where we started, we were all doing YouTube back in 2010. And,
Wow.
And John actually was.
We bonded over our love of methamphetamine.
Yeah, we
Yeah, that's how it
took a bunch
starts.
of meth together. You know, John was like, "Come around my house, dudes I know from the internet, and let's do some meth." And we were like, "All right, this
That's
sounds a
completely
little
safe.
sketchy,
Let's do
but
this.
I'm gonna head over there anyway." But yeah, so that is cool as hell. That is cool as hell. So you ended up moving to a totally new country,
Yep.
getting a basically
All because Twitch.
being Twitch your
did.
job. So now I know why you love this thing so much.
Yeah, it really changed my life. I mean, and it was cool because all of a sudden I was staying in my pajamas all the time. You know, I didn't get any vitamin D at all, and it was great. You know, no more allergies for this girl. Yeah.
You can take supplements for vitamin D.
I get CRT tans. That's the only tan I get now. So
Very cool.
That's basically
Very
it.
cool. So you're going to be the first guest to do a new segment that I'm calling 5 Dumb Questions. Because pretty much every question that comes into this podcast is dumb.
I agree.
Hard to
True.
argue with that.
So one of these is an actual question from us, a somewhat serious question. The rest are questions that we have previously had to answer. I wouldn't make you answer anything that we have not had to answer ourselves. I wouldn't
God.
put a guest in that
That's not
position.
that doesn't help the situation.
Question number 1. This one is the somewhat serious question. Your 3 desert island games. So you can only have 3 games for the rest of eternity. They can be multiplayer, but you can only have 3. You do have the internet, but you're limited. These 3. That's it.
Oh God.
One of them can be unreleased if you want. No, gee.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I'd pick. Oh
A lot of
God.
factors that go into
Well,
this.
yeah, because I mean, if I don't pick, I'm not really that much of a multiplayer person. There's only a few games in multiplayer that I'm really drawn towards. But if I don't pick any multiplayer games, then I've got no connection to the outside world. But if I just go off of things that I just would play forever, yeah, maybe Fallout 1 or Fallout 2 actually, and then
Okay.
Fallout 3,
Two of these are
and then
Fallout.
And then Fallout
I
4.
see where this
Oh
is
my
going.
god.
I don't know. I really want to try The Witcher 3. I've heard that it's the same level of addiction, right? But I've not tried it yet because I know that my productivity will go out
It
the window.
is phenomenal. If you're going to try it, you need to try it before Fallout 4 comes out so you actually play it.
You start
Oh,
now, you may finish it by the time Fallout 4
Okay,
comes out.
I change it. Because I will swap out Fallout 2 for Civ 5. That's a fucking brilliant choice. I love
There you
Civ
go.
5.
And you can
Yeah.
play that multiplayer too.
Hundreds and hundreds of hours in that.
In one
Civ
game.
5, Fallout 3, and Fallout 4. I love 2 Fallout games on there.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Number 2. If you had to choose one condiment to eat on everything for the rest of your life, what would you choose? Sauces only. No solids.
I'm glad that
On
we're finally
everything.
recognizing that solids can be condiments too. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry.
Wait, what's a solid condiment?
Blah
Like
thinks,
lettuce and tomato.
Blah thinks.
Those count as condiment.
Blah thinks
those
a
are
BLT
fixing.
is just a condiment sandwich.
The reason
is.
the reason this has to be a qualifier is because you can't say bacon.
Yeah.
That's where the
Right.
that's where the
Condiment.
debate.
It can.
Here
It
we go.
absolutely.
Here we
Flavor
go.
sauce that you put on something. Those are fixings.
No, no. A condiment
Yeah,
is
I'm getting
a
into this.
fixing. A fixing is a condiment. The condiment. We're starting this again, and while we're on the subject, by the way, I just want to say that not only are BLT shit sandwiches, but I am harassed on a daily basis, and my character has been attacked for this opinion. BLTs have ruined my life. I just want to put that out there while we're on the subject.
Oh my god. Okay, well, I
Well, now
feel
that's
a
out of
bit-
the way.
I gotta admit, I think actually Blah's right because I just Googled condiment and the official Google description, and we all know Google can never tell a lie, is a substance such as salt, mustard, or pickle that is used
Right.
to add flavor. So solids count. Okay.
But not for
I-
this
Exactly.
question.
Also,
Yeah.
I would
This
totally
question,
pick pickles if solids were allowed.
no solids are allowed in this question.
So okay, I guess
and it goes on. See, this is what the crux is here. The twist on this is it goes on everything. So if you're eating cereal, you got to think about this, or you just don't eat cereal anymore. That's like, that was our big example because there's not a lot of things that are real good on cereal.
Pickles are great on cereal.
something to put in everything. I
One
mean, I guess
condiment.
I'd just pick salt and deal with the kidney stones.
What the heck's about that? You made
Because
Change your
salt
life
goes
choice.
on everything, really. It even brings out the sweetness in sweet foods. So, why not?
All right.
I think after a little while, you get used to some salty checks.
Yeah.
If you got a sweet enough cereal, it'd be okay. It'd be a savory cereal.
Salt,
then I
wait,
suppose.
salt is not a sauce.
Oh, it's a solid. That's true.
Oh, it's a
correct.
solid.
Oh,
Right,
it's
right,
very
right,
small
right.
solid.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Ketchup on cereal would be fucking nasty.
well, and I
Damn
guess
it,
you're not
this is a
eating cereal
terrible
anymore.
question.
I know. This is what our fans do to us.
Fans and giant quotes.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna pick mayo.
I also went mayo for this. So, there you
question
go.
I have to ask: are you doing
And no,
mayonnaise
you're
or
whipped
Miracle? Okay.
No.
Answers that.
No. I am not the zesty little cool hipster commercial for this. This is not how that's playing out. Okay, we're talking mayo. All right, we're men here. This is what I'm saying. All right, we're real men.
Men
You know,
in
you can
quotes
do that
once
weird
again.
word. Okay. Yeah, in quotes.
All right. Question number 3. Grilled cheese, mac and cheese, or cheese fondue?
Grilled cheese.
Correct answer. Although,
Good. Quick. That was quick.
That was the
grilled
wrong
cheese,
answer to
yeah.
that.
Well, I think cheese fondue is a wrong answer. Straight up.
I think that would
but
be a waste of. That's not proper fondue. Chocolate fondue is proper fondue.
There
But
you go.
I grew up I grew up eating mac and cheese all the time because in Canada we've got craft dinner, right? And that's like the thing that every
Craft dinner.
like 4-ish kid eats like 3 times a day. So that was my life was craft dinner. But grilled
That
cheese,
sounds
that's amazing.
delightful.
We just call them toasties over here though. So
Oh, okay. All right. Number 4. What class in school did you do the best in, and which one did you do the worst in?
I was awesome at English and history kind of at the same time. And I was fucking terrible at gym because I wrote my own notes to get out of gym class.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
It's all getting
like,
aired, the dirty
Shannon
laundry.
needs to not be on the field today because she has bad allergies. Signed, Shannon's mom. I was worse.
You actually signed it Shannon's mom.
That would have been the
no,
best.
Oh,
His name. I was good at forging my mom's signature. I did it all the time.
You had a severe lack of hustle. It's the only way you can be bad at gym.
Yeah, I
lack
was
of
terrible
hustle.
at gym. No.
This final question, I thought long and hard about including it, and I decided in the end there had to be a question involving poop. Number 5, the finale. If you could poop in any famous person's bathroom, whose bathroom would it be and why?
This is like an intense question because you kind of want to say someone that you like so that it could kind of be like maybe you met them, but then at the same time you're shitting in their bathroom, so you
Hey,
maybe
it's a
don't
natural
want to
process.
like them.
They do it too.
Any famous person, does it have to be alive?
No.
Ooh, oh, that opens it up so much more. Okay. Oh God. Douglas Adams.
Douglas Adams.
I don't know who that
Hitchhiker's
is.
Guide. Hitchhiker's Guide to
He
the
wrote The
Galaxy,
Hitchhiker's
dude.
Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, okay,
I'd
okay,
take
yeah,
shit
that's
in
right.
his bathroom. Yeah.
Probably be a
I
good
think he'd be
looking
cool with it
bathroom.
too.
Yeah.
He'd just be a cool guy about it. And then we get to talk about cool sci-fi stuff. So yeah.
That was from like episode 65 or something. I went way back and found that
Dude,
one.
that's like some research.
Yeah. Well, I have in Google Drive, I just have a folder of podcast notes. And it goes back to
Nice.
like episode 50 when we actually started structuring this podcast.
You waited 50
Structuring in
episodes for that.
quotes.
Yeah, in quotes
Yeah.
again. Many air quotes being thrown
Yeah,
out tonight.
definitely. Well, and Brandon's not on cam, so I'll just do them for him.
So, thank you, Shannon, for being on tonight. She is going to be on for the rest of the cast. That was our interview segment. You can follow Shannon on Twitter at ShannonZKiller, and I think on
Zed.
pretty much everything.
ZKiller.
ShannonZKiller. I'm Canadian, so
I think pretty much everything is probably that. Twitch
yeah. Oh
as
yeah,
well.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
My name isn't really something that people try to snag from other things. So good.
all right, guys, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break, and then we're going to be back after the commercials with a ton of E3 stuff because lots and lots and lots of cool stuff happened at E3. Only one cool thing if you're Shannon, but we'll be back in 2 minutes. If you never want to see commercials on this channel again, consider subscribing. We are an old school sub. We'll get rid of your commercials. Plus, you get KBMOD A. So, there you go. We'll see you guys
Worth
in
it
2
on its
minutes. Oh, that was good. That went well. I'll do that again.
It's fun.
We're
like
still
the last
live. We're
commercials.
still
It's
live, by
fun.
the way. We don't have a. We're not.
Oh yeah.
We're not as fancy as JP yet. I need to figure that stuff out.
He's
He's
god.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Dude, okay, so when I'm on his thing in the Skype,
Mm-hmm.
on your your windowy thing on your Skype, we actually just get to see a
Yeah.
screen thingy of like his whatever he's capturing. It's neat.
I know. Nikon does that for our hardware podcast, which is done once a month. But he did all that fancy stuff, and I'm just not good at it. But we get by. We get by here at the KBMOD
Make it work.
podcast, getting by since 2011.
Basically, yeah, best way to describe it.
Surviving. Survive.
I can see
Adequate
blocking.
since.
Yeah. Pretty okay.
Marginally acceptable.
Yeah.
So, yeah. it's good.
We often can't believe we've been doing this. Like, Scott will say that now and then. He doesn't say it as much, but we were like, I can't believe we've done this for 195 episodes.
And it's not even like, oh my god, I'm so like, I can't believe it, guys. Like, thank you so much. It's like, no, I really can't believe we actually have made it this far.
Like, how did we do this?
That's a huge accomplishment to get that many people together for that many weeks in a row. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
that's mental.
I don't think we've ever had a gap of more than a week, I think. We might have
Usually
had
it's
2
just a
weeks
week,
off
right?
once, like during a holiday time, but I can't think of...
Yeah. I can't think of it.
Yeah. It's been a long road since you ain't Grizz Baby.
Sometimes someone will say that they go back and they're listening to all the casts from the beginning,
Mhm.
and I'm just like, why?
Yeah, the original group was me and APL Fisher and Private Joker, and that was it. That was episode 1, the 3 of us, and we didn't do Twitch till episode 50 or 51, something like
As far as
that.
doing it live, yeah, it was 50. You guys
Yeah.
did one live.
Wow.
I
with
think
that.
Captain Sparkles was our first live Twitch guest.
Oh, nice.
All right, we are back, and it's time for the news. And holy
News.
crap, there was a lot for me to do on the morning posts and stuff on KBMOD.com this week because, my God, the E3, it's everywhere.
That's the thing that happened.
Yeah, So we're gonna start. I'm gonna kind of go through. We won't go into super like every single game that was announced at every single press conference. But I'm going to kind of go through them in the order they happened. If you listen to last week's podcast, some of this will be stuff we went over there, but Shannon is here so she can give her perspectives as well. Bethesda opened the show for the first time ever. And they announced some things. All right, fuck it. They announced Fallout 4. And if you were on last week, we sort of did live reactions and then did the podcast. Fallout 4 looks really good. Like, we all kind of knew it was coming, but pretty impressed. So what was your favorite thing from that little demo and the footage that came out? Just it being a thing overall?
Well, I knew it was a thing. That's the thing. I've known it was coming for quite a while because I worked with someone who like was working on it. And it was really hard to keep it like under wraps once he told me. I don't even think he was supposed to tell me, but they all kind of get a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so I think for me, and I also knew that the release date was going to be this year. So I knew all of that. But I think the biggest thing for me that was like the sweetest treat was knowing that I could build an entire base from scratch, because I've been arcing it up so hard and I've been doing a lot of base building in Arc. So just getting to like the feeling of knowing that I can take ownership in the game, and it's not just about like, like Lucas Sims gives you his residence or a residence in Megaton. It's not like that. It's you literally build the foundations. That's gonna be just crack for me. I'm just
that was the thing that was the biggest surprise for me out of it. I was like, well, this is gonna be a Fallout game for the most part. To preface my knowledge of Fallout, I have none, basically. I've never been into the series at all. I don't think they're bad games at all. I just have never played them. Also, Fallout 3 was so buggy on PC that I really never even gave it a chance.
Still is very buggy.
It's true.
I want to. I bought it. But that base building stuff, dear God.
Looked glorious.
It was really cool.
Bro.
Could not believe that was a thing that they put in there. That was completely unexpected to me. All the other stuff, I was like, oh, this is just, more better Fallout. But then that comes on, and we were all like, Todd Howard, you can have my children, Todd Howard.
I think everybody was feeling that way. Like, I was kind of like live tweeting everything, but whenever I could actually manage to type. Because sometimes I was actually in the Bethesda chat, and we're not supposed to spam. It's kind of a violation of the terms of service, but I was literally just mashing my keyboard and hitting enter. Like
we were commenting on it as we were reacting live, because we couldn't stream that one because it wasn't on the Twitch channel. So we were just like watching it. But we were like, yo, Shannon is beating this chat up right now.
I got like literally hundreds of people tweeting me going like, I see you in the Bethesda chat. Are you okay? Like, do you need anything? Do you need someone? And then I kind of went silent after the Bethesda thing ended, because I was going out and I was doing all my pre-ordering, right? You didn't hear that, Total Biscuit. And so I was getting all that done, and people started tweeting me again going, we haven't heard anything from her in about a half an hour. This is bizarre. Someone needs to send an ambulance to her house right now. It's pretty accurate. Yeah.
God. So, other than Fallout, Bethesda also announced Dishonored 2, which we thought looked pretty cool. We won't go into that and Doom as much this week because, although Doom looks really good, and apparently
Doom does look really good.
Yeah, despite the demo, whoever was playing the demo moving at like negative speed, apparently it's a really fast run and gun shooter from people who saw the other demonstrations of it. So that is a really good thing. We think Doom is going to look great when it comes out in 2016 sometime.
It kind of had the feeling of like Killing Floor 2 to me a little bit.
Me too.
And I just love Killing Floor. It's just so good. I'm terrible, but it's so good.
It's amazing.
They also had kind of a blemish on their otherwise like flawless press conference, which was the Battle Cry trailer, which just looked god awful. And are we still talking about solely press conferences, or can we talk about what we played on the floor because
No,
I played
go ahead.
Battlecry.
Since we're on this one, if you played that on the floor or any of the Bethesda ones, just go ahead. Yeah, because you guys were there. So
I actually went and played Battlecry, and I was discussing this with the guys I was waiting in line with. I just walked up by myself. I didn't go with anybody, but some like YouTubers were in line, some like small guys, and I was like, well, I'm really only here because the line is short, and I want to see if it's as bad as it looks.
Was it?
Yeah. No. It wasn't as bad as it looks. It's not great, but it's not as bad as it looks either. This is Battlecry, mind you. This is not Battleborn. It's very easy to confuse.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of battle blanks going on right now. Battleborn is the good one. Battlecry is bad. It's easy to remember when when you have a baby born, it's like the best day of your life, and then when you're crying, it's bad. So it's easy to remember.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So
shade. The fucking shade.
So Battlecry it very strongly reminds me of TF2. And so clearly I immediately went for the stealth go invisible douchebag.
Yes.
And I honestly get the feeling that if I wasn't like cleaning up as well as I was like really beating the shit out of people, I wouldn't have enjoyed it nearly as much. Because like I'm one of those scumbags that like if I'm winning, I'm having a good time even if the game's kind of shit. But the character was very fun to play. The controls were pretty intuitive. It's very much a third person. It was like a capture point kind of deal. Like it was exactly like Domination in Call of Duty, and the map really felt like just the right size. It felt really good. It took me a little while to get used to it, and especially with the movement, I honestly kept jumping off of the level and killing myself because that's how unintuitive it was at first. But once I kind of like got the lay of the land, it was kind of like okay. My problem with it is that your character has these skills, and at least my character that I was playing, they all felt very weak except for my stealth. The stealth is obviously like they couldn't see me, so it was like super overpowered. Especially because the stealth lasted forever. It took a long time to recharge, but it was very, very long. And the downside was there was no like coming out of stealth backstab mechanic as far as I could tell. My major complaint with the combat is you're really just wailing at each other until one of you falls over, and the skills seem to do very little. It's very like just go for people who already have less health than you. Yeah. And aside from that, like I guess if you're a ranged character, it's different. But for the melee characters, it's very much just like I'm just gonna fucking wail at you, and we're gonna do this janky ass like jilty animation, and it's gonna look like stop motion until one of us dies. And that's a problem. I feel like the combat's not very deep. I feel like the skills really need to be fleshed out better. They need to be more impactful on the game. And again, maybe this is just the character I was playing because I only played the one out of like 5. Funny enough, I would say the voice acting is actually really good.
Okay.
So
well, that's a plus.
It seems to be very like like international kind of like you're always playing some region. And so my team was Russian, and my character there's a different stealth backstabby douchebag guy for each country. It's going to be either like a guy or girl. You could be the Chinese one, the Russian one, etc. And mine felt like the voice acting on my guy when he was like kind of talking smack to the people he was killing was really good. So when I was doing the post game survey, everything was like mediocre or better. It was like best 1 to 5. I rated like almost everything at either a 3, a 2, or a 1 until I got to sound design. I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to give that a 4. That was pretty good. So
damn.
But overall, like. I need to see more. And
it's coming out in beta soonish. I think
it's coming out in beta, and it's going to be free to play. So honestly, it could honestly be.
That's what you're saying.
Like I said, I only played the one character, so exploring it a little bit more in depth, it could actually be a decent game. It's just the animation looks like shit. Cool. The game really needs better presentation.
So there you go. That was Bethesda pretty much. Dishonored 2 is in there. It looks like a Dishonored game. Pretty good one, but it looks like a Dishonored game. They also had a Hearthstone game, which I didn't see much more of beyond that. And of course, Fallout 4. You got the Pip-Boy edition, didn't you?
I got 2 of them. I couldn't help it. Well, I mean, to be honest, the American Amazon had it, and the British one didn't. I panicked, and I bought it, and I actually sent it to Tyler's house. So I like messaged Tyler. I told him like, You're gonna get a Pip-Boy in November. Don't fucking touch it. It's mine, bitch. Like, I was
Tasty note.
yeah. And he's like, it's okay, I bought one anyways. I'm like, well, good, because you wouldn't have mine. And then the next day, someone told me that there was a British site that had it. So I bought one on that too, because actually don't know, what's going to happen. I don't know how long it's going to take for anything to get to my house. So I was just like, okay, cover the bases. And actually, I'm really glad I did, because they've been completely sold out across the world. And it's unknown whether or not they'll be selling any more. Now, I was actually having this conversation a little bit earlier with my chat. Now, everybody was saying, because I said $119 for the game, plus the Pip-Boy, plus like the special collector's case and all the other little jazz that comes with it, is, in my opinion, really cheap.
It's not bad compared to
Yeah,
some.
it's not a bad price.
I think it's good. And everybody was just like, what planet are you from?
It's such a good thing, though, to put in a pre-order edition of a game like that. It's like not, some statue or, it's
DLC.
something you can, technically use. So
Yeah.
in the way it's in the game as well.
Yeah.
A lot of the times you just get like with Titanfall, you got a Titan. Well, that's great, cool, I guess.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I gonna do with it? It's gonna sit on my shelf,
Yep.
and then I'm never gonna play that game again.
Damn.
It's true though. So,
But I mean, like, when you start to consider what more than $150 buys you, that also was announced at E3, a Xbox special fucking controller bullshit
we're
with
about
like,
to get to that, yeah.
yeah. Okay, I'll save it then. But yeah, it's not pretty.
So
yeah.
after Bethesda did their thing, I was pretty much like, because I knew that Mark Alsham No Wow, if people don't know him, go follow him. He's awesome. I knew I took the day off of work on Monday so we could make fun of the press conferences all day, as we did last year. Big thank you to Twitch, of course, for allowing partners to restream. We had so much fun doing it. We streamed for 12 hours. It was ridiculous. My body actually hurt after sitting so long. So we did the Microsoft conference, which was up next, and we were like, well, what can they really do after Fallout 4? And the answer was not a whole lot, but they had some cool stuff. They did have, of course, they rolled out some games. They showed a little of Halo 5. Not really that relevant to this podcast, as it won't be coming to PC at all. Which sucks, but, They were the only conference that showed Dark Souls 3, though, which, of course, I'm really hyped for. And they didn't show much of it, but the CGI pre-render trailer that they did show was pretty awesome. So,
As they all are with the Dark Souls games.
yeah, I mean, it's gonna be good. I hope. I'm still cautiously
They had a cool
optimistic.
booth.
Did they
For
have a
what
cool
it's
booth?
worth. Yeah, it was like a statue with a sword and a guy, and it was like it was a black fountain. And I think it was supposed to be like blood, but it was black
Do you know
blood.
which game it was supposed to be from?
I have no idea. It was
Yeah.
just the Dark Souls 3 booth.
Oh, okay. All right. But Miyazaki, he's doing this game. For those who don't know, he's the director of Demon Souls and Dark Souls, which are far superior to Dark Souls 2. He also did Bloodborne, which is quite good. Those games are my shit. If you're new to this podcast, Blah and I, and Tim as well, big Dark Souls.
Love them.
We like punishing ourselves, so. Microsoft also announced a few other games. One of the coolest things as far as PC, Gears of War Ultimate Edition is coming to PC. Totally
Yes, it
remastered HD Gears of War 1. I'm actually super excited.
I'm really happy for that.
For this. They announced a bunch of Windows 10. I don't want to call them. They're not really exclusives, but like you have to have Windows 10 to play them. Sea of Thieves was one, which is like a pirate MMO, which looked pretty damn good. They also showed off some Fable Legends. Gears of War 4, which I'm not going to get an Xbox One, but goddamn did Gears of War 4 look good in the gameplay demo they showed. They announced a new IP called Recore, which looked like Wall-E crossed with Portal or something. It looked pretty cool, actually.
Who doesn't love Wall-E?
Yeah, they showed a little more Fallout 4 gameplay, which we were happy to see. Different stuff from the Bethesda conference. They also showed off Cuphead. If you are not hyped for Cuphead,
Cuphead
you need
looks so good.
to be hyped for Cuphead.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, it's so good. I played it.
You played it? Is it super good?
It's super good, and a lot of people think it's going to be Xbox One exclusive. It's going to be
not.
Windows.
It's on PC.
It's going to be.
Nice.
It's going to. Well, it's going to be Windows 10, I think.
Yeah.
So
we have
you're gonna have
a
to
list.
upgrade.
We have a list on
But-
KBMOD.com of every game announced at E3 and whether or not it's coming out on PC. Because
It
I'm
is-
a monster.
Holy shit, they nailed that look so well. It's for those of you who don't know, it's like kind of like a Metal Slug Contra kind of game, but it's also like Titan Souls in that it's basically only boss fights. And the look that they're going for is like a super old school
30s.
like 1930s cartoon, like Steamboat Willie.
Yes.
And they fucking nailed it. It's so good. I was like beside myself, and it's so hard. It is ridiculously hard. I managed to beat the one boss, the carrot boss, first try. It's a potato and then a carrot comes out, and I beat it first try. It's funny, you play it co-op on the floor, and you can play it like local co-op. I don't know about online, but like when one of you dies, the other one is left to finish the fight by themselves or die themselves, and you're just sitting there waiting. So I go up and start playing with this girl that I didn't know. And she died in the first like 2 seconds, and then I just went the rest of the fight without her and beat the boss. It took me like 5 minutes, and she was just standing there. It was kind of awkward.
God.
And then we went to the next boss and just got fucking thrashed. So
Oh, this sounds so good.
It looks
Sounds
like
really,
something I
really
want.
pretty.
it's
I mean,
insanely good.
In that sort of spirit of like that Kung Fury game. Like,
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
Totally
when you
devoted.
have something that does the art style justice, like true justice,
yes.
and really just tries to almost look like you question whether or not it is made in this year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, really,
Yeah.
it really
So exciting.
honestly feels like it.
Yeah.
It's
The animation
Oh my
has
God.
like that I don't even know how, like that tremble that cartoons in the 30s had, like
yeah, where the lines
things
weren't
kind of
very
are
clean
like
in between
everyone's like
frames.
sort of breathing and bopping a little, like
Yeah,
it's-
everybody's kind of got
yeah.
like everybody stands like this for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, audio listeners, you can't see me right now, but I you know,
He's
So-
flexing for us again.
and like everything is very sort of like loopy and wavy and curvy in exactly the way those old
Yeah.
cartoons were. It's so well done.
It
It's like
looks
it's
good.
like when they took the South Park game and they just wanted it to look like an episode of South Park. This is literally just that
Yeah.
for 1930s cartoons, which in my opinion seems way harder to pull off.
Yep. Yeah. So they showed that, which looked awesome. They showed a bunch of other indie titles, including one where you play a blind girl, which I don't know how that's going to work, but you kind of are supposed to use your other senses to discover the world. It's very, very strange. The Rare collection is coming out, which is actually awesome. I hope it comes to PC. It's 30 remastered Rare games. So,
I heard Viva Pinata's on there.
yes. Viva Pinata.
What?
Yes.
Viva Pinata is so good. I make no apologies for
Oh my
liking Viva
God.
Pinata.
Here
Yeah.
I go digging out other games that
There
I
it
don't
is.
really need.
Yeah.
Viva
Games
Pinata
for
right
Windows,
here.
baby.
There it
Games
is.
for Windows Live. Sitting in my desk.
That game is so good.
It's, okay,
wait,
so the first
go
time I
ahead.
played that, I didn't realize that it was a pinata sex farm. That's pretty much how you break down Viva Pinata. It's a pinata sex farm.
Yeah, it's
Hands down.
basically
I didn't know that going into it. I had no clue
pretty
what
dark.
the game was, and I go
Really.
into it. I'm like, oh my god, these are. I have to make these
Yep.
things have sex, and make more, and make those. Oh my god, it threw me completely for a loop. But
Yeah.
it's a fun game.
So they also showed a bunch of other games that were shown better at other press conferences. They also showed Dean Hall's new game, Ion, which is sort of a space survival sim, I guess. They showed a lot more of that at the PC Gaming Conference.
Yeah.
Ion looks pretty damn good.
That was the one that I was working on last year.
Nice.
Really?
There we go.
Yeah.
Ion. So we'll have to check that out when it comes out.
I can't talk about what I know. But if you're into gritty space sim stuff, then
We'll dig it.
yeah. Like, yeah, it's going to be good.
They also showed. So we've talked about the good stuff. Actually, we're going to talk about one more positive from the Microsoft press conference. The fucking HoloLens.
That looks so cool.
Dear God.
Okay.
That's cool as shit.
So I thought it looked really cool, and I totally want to try it. But then I watched because I thought it was too good to be true, so I actually watched the YouTube video of it like so I can see it all a second time, and I started to wonder how much is it actually interacting with anything. I think it's you literally just can see stuff with it. I mean,
no, you can move elements around.
Okay.
with
If it's
your
Minority
hands.
Report level,
It is. It is.
that's
Oh my
I'm not
God.
going to take it off.
So what happened was Microsoft, for those that don't know, had a thing before the Surface where, and I think they still make it, where it's basically a Minority Report like table thing. Like this is a real thing that they've had for a lot of years. And you can move stuff around and gesture on it. It's just like a giant like 6-foot tablet table. And they took that and now you can just do it in space, like in front of you. And the HoloLens, they had to have a special camera there so you could see what he sees. But he could move, like he could scroll the whole Minecraft world with his hand, just waving his hand over it. And the other player was like down in it, and he was like casting like lightning down to make holes in the floor. It was fucking amazing. Go watch the video. It's fantastic. The HoloLens kind of blew everyone's mind.
PC Gamer had a nice list of what 10 games would be better to play than Minecraft, and they
Yeah.
had Besiege on there, which I think would be
Besiege would be fantastic.
so much fun to
on
play
that
with that.
thing. Yeah. So
Good.
that was the last sort of positive of this. Then they showed off. I will never cease to be mad at what is happening with Rise of the Tomb Raider. I will never cease to be upset about this game being a timed exclusive on a platform when it is a sequel to a game that was super popular and everybody wanted to play anyway, and then you go and put the fucking sequel on one system? Get the fuck out of here. That is
Yep.
ridiculous.
Dan, it didn't sell enough. It was a failure.
Get
so
out of
why-
here. It sold 8.5 million copies. You think 8.5 million of us were like, nah, I'd rather not play that. I'd rather wait
Yep.
for a while. Fucking Square, come on. It looks really good. It looks like more Tomb Raider, which is what I want. Good, fine.
And the first one was awesome.
It's fantastic.
Fucking loved it. And the one thing I really loved about the first one, the first reboot,
Yeah.
was actually the transition between cutscene to gameplay.
Yes.
And I felt that like this is something that is done so well, and it looks like this one has that same charm. You know, like they blend it so that the immersion is just constant. And now I'm kind of like, well, I'm not gonna play it. Like what?
It'll be on PC/PS4 in like 3 to 6 months, apparently. But
Oh, I'll
the fact
just wait
is,
for it then.
like, the fact is, you're making people wait for a game. They like, I could understand, like Titanfall, for instance. Yeah, it came to PC, but it was exclusive to Xbox One for the first game. But the second game and preceding Titanfalls will be on every system. That was like how they worked the deal out. I'm actually more okay with that, like putting the first game as an exclusive, and then later maybe you move it on and then make the sequels, you know, for everything. But you can't just continue a story and then lock it out to half the, you know, I don't know how many people have Xbox Ones out of that, but like, you know, or if you even want to play it on Xbox One, if you have it, like, because it looked fantastic on PC and it would look better, obviously. Then we had the Xbox Elite wireless controller, which I think looks really good, but
Not for that price.
Nope.
it is $150.
Which is almost 3 times the price of a normal controller.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, if you don't know, it has the, like, if you don't know what custom SCUF controllers are, they have, like, paddles on the back and things like that, so you can do jump shots and things when you're playing your MLG Call of Duty. But this comes with all that stuff on it, but it's $150, and, like, all the parts are interchangeable. You can get a new D-pad for it and stuff. As someone who's a huge fan of the Xbox controller as a controller, I was like, I'm interested in this, and then the price was announced, and I'm like, I am no longer interested in this because I can buy 3 of your normal ones and have some friends over instead of just one of these. We looked up prices of SCUFs, and SCUFs are actually cheaper depending on the model you get. So like $50 cheaper. And those come with usually really cool paint jobs and stuff on the SCUF if you're into that kind of thing. I'm just saying there's a little value in that $110 besides just the controller.
I would almost just say buy a Sabertooth, a Razer Sabertooth, but the shoulder buttons on that thing are fucking garbage. Mine collapsed and don't really work anymore, and I mainly used it for Dark Souls. So honestly, buy a fucking PS4 controller and install what is that?
Input Mapper.
Input Mapper.
Yeah.
Input Mapper. PS4 controller is really high quality.
Yep. I
I love my
it.
PS4 controller.
Yeah, I like the DualShock 4 a lot. But yeah, $150 for controller.
So much.
A few other games they announced. Forza Motorsport, again, exclusive to Xbox One. Also, we have Project Cars, who gives a shit. Gigantic
Yeah.
was shown, which is basically Alterac Valley, but a MOBA. And they showed several other games that we're going to talk about
So was
later
Forge.
anyway. But I think sea of Thieves was kind of the one, like, Sea of Thieves and Recore both look really good. I hope Recore comes to PC. That's the one we don't know if it's only staying on Xbox One. Sea of Thieves, though, which is the pirate MMO, that will be on PC on Windows 10, of course. There's a couple other games that they announced only for Windows 10, Cuphead being another, and but definitely be on the lookout for Cuphead. I don't think it comes out till 2016, I want to say.
That's good.
I
There's
think
too many
that's
games this year.
correct.
Yeah. So, moving on. EA, which was a press conference run by sociopaths in suits. Everyone who works at EA at a high level looks like they should have an underground lair and be firing missiles and taking over small countries. Like, it is actually
Prove
ridiculous.
they're not.
Yeah. We had lots of jokes about the first dude who wasn't wearing a belt with his suit for some reason.
Oh my god.
We figured he used it to choke a
does
hooker
that?
earlier in the day, but we could be wrong. But he looked like the kind of guy that would choke a hooker. That's all I'm saying.
I like all the comments pointing out there. Look, if you're not choking hookers, why are you buying hookers?
First of all,
They're
actually
call
only
girls.
hookers once they're dead. Sorry.
Exactly.
Dudes, well,
Thank
that's
you,
a little
Shannon.
I apologize
Okay.
for my
Yeah.
use of the word hooker
Get
there.
it right.
Yeah, once they're dead, they're just hookers. If he's choking them to death, that's another thing. But I mean, but
Well, I figured that's
there-
where his
there
belt was at that point.
there was a tweet. I think this is the guy you're talking about. The tweet pointed out that, or it was the CEO of EA or something, looks exactly like the bad guy
Yes.
from Mirror's Edge, which is an EA
Yes.
game.
Yes.
So
And he does. Oh my god. So this is when the cringe started, as it usually does at E3. Microsoft went through really without a hitch. Like, pretty damn good press conference, concise,
Well,
really well done.
All their stuff was just like
Yeah.
the lower third tickers that popped
Yeah.
up with pre-order now.
Yeah, which
right?
we were
Like,
making fun of a lot.
That's it. That's
Phil
the only thing.
Spencer's-
That's not cringy. That's just tacky.
Yeah.
There's a difference. Yeah.
Phil Spencer's chiseled fucking jaw looks like he's made out of granite. Was up there on stage several times. Phil Granite Face Spencer. But yeah, EA is when the awkwardness and the cringe began, as it started with. As it started with, and you can go look this gentleman up on Twitter, the Hoop God.
Goad. Goad.
It's the actual worst.
It was the actual
Actually, you
word.
know, he kind of reminds me of Brandon because Brandon and Hoop God have
Never
one
speak
thing
to
in
me
common.
again.
Brandon and Hoop God have one thing in common, that they both share the same high-level enthusiasm for everything. They express themselves with just so much excitement. Like,
Look,
Yeah.
that guy doesn't have a soul. Brandon's just a robot.
Oh, that's true.
There's a difference.
We did
That's-
make Hoop God into a meme. I received at least 20 photoshops during the E3 conference of Hoop
oh
God
yeah,
doing various
I made
things.
one myself. Like, yeah.
So, if you don't know about the Hoop God, they called up for NBA Live 16, which will, by the way, be an awful game. Just FYI, the NBA Live series is a travesty. If you're into sports games, do not buy. But to show off the face scan stuff, they called this random dude. It was seemingly just a random dude, the Hoop God, up on stage and face scanned him into a phone. And then we looked up his Twitter, and he had done the face scan 3 hours earlier and had just signed up for Twitter. He had like 2 followers. EA made a dude up and brought him on stage to scan his face. I could not believe it.
That's like a new
Call him
low.
Twitter, Hoop God.
Hoop God. And now
Ouch.
he's tweeting normally, but I'm sure this guy had his own Twitter before this. Like,
Before they
was-
burned off his fingerprints and wiped his memory.
Oh,
And now all he is the hoop. I'm beginning to feel like
He'll
a
never
hoop
be able to
god,
go back to
hoop
his
god.
normal life.
no, he's the Hoop God forever now. And then it went on okay. Like EA was doing all right, just announcing games, showing some stuff off. They showed the Old Republic, which is a blemish. But then they brought out Pele to talk about FIFA 16. But not really to talk about FIFA 16. They were just like, Pele, come out and talk to our random EA Sports dude about your life for, I don't know, 20 minutes or so in the middle of this conference. And we were just like, and he kept like prompting Pele to tell specific stories, like in the worst way ever. And Pele was kind of like, well, I guess I'll tell that story. Like, it was
so
super bad. It was so terrible. And I was like, Pele is one of the greatest athletes of all time, and this is what we've done. So, this is what we've reduced him to. But yeah, so that was when the cringe started. EA did also announce some cool things, although their conference was very sort of short. They showed absolutely nothing from the new Mass Effect Andromeda, which has, I believe, no release window at all still. They showed a dude in an N7 suit jumping, and like that was it.
That's all I need right now.
And some screens. Like there wasn't really anything. I think people were hoping for a lot more. If they had come out and shown like Mass Effect Andromeda gameplay, that might have been, for the gaming world in general, not for Shannon, of course, that might have rivaled Fallout 4. Like, as far as hype, it might have been up there.
As far as I know, this is the first time they're actually naming the game, though. Like, they had we knew they were developing a game, the new Mass Effect, but we hadn't had a name yet of what it was going to be.
It's not going to be Shepard and Company, apparently, so it's a whole new saga. But anyway, if they had showed something, they may have rivaled this. So, they also showed a new Need for Speed, which comes out in November, and I thought looked amazing.
Looks really good.
Looks freaking fantastic. Mike Pollack, our resident Need for Speed freak, was super hype, so I'm going to trust him on this. I don't know why I'm trusting Mike on anything. Brandon's probably cringing right now.
He's actually just our resident freak.
Yeah, there you go. But it looks really good, except for the live acting part of Need for Speed, which was like sort of, I don't know why we're putting this in the game, but the cars and the racing look phenomenal. Like I'm super pumped for this game.
At least they didn't lower an actual car into the studio in order to advertise it. They actually just showed. At least they showed like a trailer, you know.
Yeah, Microsoft lowered a friggin' Ford GT from the ceiling during the demo. So, like, half the audience just had a car in their face. Like, they couldn't see the demo. Like, the live audience.
This is really cool, and if it fails, my life is over.
Yeah.
Isn't this a pretty car, though? Like, look at it. It's a car, right? You like cars, don't you?
Vroom, vroom, yeah.
No, I like more Forza 6 footage. Maybe if I could see it through this car, things would be better. That was like, it was unbelievable. But they also announced a new indie title called Unravel with the most nervous man in the world presenting it. I actually felt bad for this guy.
The game looks real fun.
It looks really cool. Unravel looks really cool. But he came out and told this touching story of like how he made Unravel. It was like a toy for his kids, a little Yarny doll and stuff. But he was visibly shaking, like trying to present this. I felt so bad for this guy.
I honestly kind of appreciate that. I like that this isn't some shill that's like really good at talking to audiences. This is a guy who has physical attachment to the project or emotional attachment to the project and is able to overcome what is obviously a great fear of speaking in public, or not even overcome, but face it just to present his project. I appreciate that a lot.
His hands, they zoomed in on his hands and he was holding the Yarny doll and they were like going at like 1,000 miles an hour shaking. I was like, this dude has some guts to be out there. Like, congrats to him for even getting out there with how shaken he was. Also, his game looks really good. So
it does, and I think that's something that kind of people need to remember. And I'm kind of glad that. I mean, it's kind of mean to say, but I'm kind of glad that it happened to someone at E3 because it reminds everyone that developers they're not performers. Like. Yeah. That's not their world. And if you want to talk to a developer, you're talking to someone who is completely out of their element when it comes to a big public conversation like that. So I think it was kind of cool because it kind of even indirectly made people think about like the sort of social and like mental stance of developers,
Yeah.
and they're not all, huge jack of all trades that can do everything. So that was really cool.
Yeah, Mark and I were cold-blooded and making fun of all these press conferences, and we couldn't do it to Yarny, dude. We just couldn't roast him.
I
It's
was-
like,
I
this
was-
dude, man.
I was on the Drop Frames podcast during the Ubisoft, and when that guy came on stage, everybody started having like a go at him and kind of picking him apart. And then JP was the first one who, as soon as he saw the guy's
Yeah.
handshake, he stopped and he just said, "I take everything back that I said. I feel really bad that I made fun of him." 2 minutes later, he tweeted the guy, like the developer account.
Yeah.
And he was like, like your game looks awesome. I can't wait. And he told everyone
That's
to like,
awesome.
make sure to watch it and stuff, because I guess he just saw the passion, right? And then when he saw the trailer looks good. Like
Yeah.
it legit looks like a wicked concept. So yeah, like why not,
Yeah.
not be a bully about it, I guess.
So, moving on from Yarny Dude, who was awesome. They also showed the new Mirror's Edge. Not a whole lot of it. It looks like Mirror's Edge. That's a good thing. So Mirror's Edge Catalyst is the official name of it, which is kind of an odd name. But yeah, it looks very good. I still can't tell if it's sort of a reboot or a prequel or what it is. But it's Mirror's Edge. So you can't be unhappy with that. They also finally showed Star Wars Battlefront, and goddamn if it doesn't look actually
It
good.
looks so much fun.
I had no faith that this was going to look good, and it does. It looks incredible. So they won on that. They showed a little more during Sony, but the TIE fighters and shit flying over your head. Oh my god! I was just like, yes, put me in that world. There's no ADS in it, which is cool. It definitely looks like a Battlefield game, and like everyone was like, "Oh man, it's a Battlefield game again," and I was like, "Why is that a bad?
Why is that a bad thing?
negative?"
Battlefield's really good.
Yeah,
like,
Pretty
Battlefield's
sure
quite
everybody
good.
loves Battlefield.
Yeah.
So
Like, I was like, that's fine. If
we
it's-
kind of expected this when they said it was gonna be on Frostbite, so
yeah.
I'm alright with it.
It looks real good. So that was the highlights of of EA's conference. Next, if you thought the cringe at EA was bad, then Ubisoft, as only it can do, every single year, Ubisoft just provides more fodder than any other conference the whole time.
I wish some of their games didn't look so good. Like,
I know. I actually introduced the article. This conference, as it is almost every year, was the most uncomfortable and awkward of the entire show.
they always take the cake.
Yep. Aisha Tyler is, we need to calm down on the memes a little bit. This isn't the KBMOD podcast. This is the Ubisoft press conference. And you need to just calm it
You're
down
up
a
here,
little bit.
you down here.
Yeah. And then they had Jason Derulo on, and it was just like
awful. It was awful.
Oh, it was terrible. And he tried to drag Aisha Tyler onto the stage, and she was like, nope. It was like the most awkward fucking thing on earth. Oh, it was so terrible. Yeah, they had Meme Man in the crowd. God. Okay. Games, though, because they had some good ones. They did, as they do every year. Despite being like probably the developer we've ripped on the most on this podcast, I would say, or publisher, Ubisoft. South Park, Fractured Butthole. The sequel to
good.
Stick of Truth.
The
So
fractured
that's not an
butthole.
iTunes review or something?
No, it's a real game. They had Trey Parker and Matt Stone out there, and it looks like a really good sequel to Stick of Truth. So, I mean, you can't ask for more than that. They said they didn't think that Stick of Truth was as good as it could have been, and so they corrected it in this one.
Oh,
They
really?
hadn't made a video game really before. So, I mean, from what I heard,
Well, damn, Stick of Truth was amazing.
pretty good, yeah. So,
It was a really good RPG. I mean, even if you break it down, like, don't look at South Park, it was a really good RPG. And if they're gonna improve
it's made
on
by
that,
Obsidian.
I
It's made by
know. Which
Obsidian. They know what they're doing.
Well,
wait.
this one isn't. This one
Yeah.
is Ubisoft, obviously, which is a little foreboding.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
But they, I wish it was made by Obsidian again as well. But I can't see them straying too far off the path from what they did with Stick of Truth. I mean,
well,
that
as
game,
soon as Ubisoft is involved, like Uplay rears its ugly head, and like that would be fucking tragic, is to have a game that was well received, well liked, and with like basically a debut people behind it. Like they haven't really developed a video game in so long, and then all of a sudden Ubisoft steps in, is like, okay, we got the sequel, guys. Just trust us. We've been in this business a long time. Have you heard about Uplay? Like that's my concern, is that Trey Parker and Matt Stone are not going to know what a fucking travesty Uplay is, and they're going to be like, yeah, sure, put it on Uplay, whatever. You have your distribution service. Steam worked out for us great, so what could be so bad about Uplay? That's my concern.
To be honest, if I can buy it, I mean, I don't even care if I can buy it through Steam.
You can buy it through Steam.
I don't mind. I personally don't mind Uplay. I have it auto login,
Dude,
and it does its thing.
Listen,
that's all.
It took
that's all
Mark
it is.
and I. It took Mark and I like 3 months to play multiplayer Trials. Okay.
Well, don't play multiplayer games on Uplay. That's your fault.
God.
You made that decision.
That's like Battlefield and like what else? Like pretty much every like.
For their single player games, it's all right for me.
Yeah.
I don't play none of that multiplayer shit.
So they let off with South Park, which is strong. Then they had Crazy Beard Cane Man come out, who was an awesome presenter in ways, but in other ways, I was not so sure what we were getting into. He introduced a game called For Honor, which is a new IP.
Awesome.
It looks awesome. It does. It is a 4v4 medieval combat game with a bunch of AI dudes as well. It was kind of hard to see from the scripted sort of thing that they did with the 4v4 if the AI is actually there for any sort of reason or if they just had it. It was hard to tell, but the sword fighting looks like pretty good overall. And there's going to be like samurai and Vikings and then sort of, British swordsman kind of thing, like your typical medieval dudes and like knights. And I think another faction is going to be in there as well. But it was hard to tell what the point was, I guess. I mean, because
I would imagine the same point as Chivalry.
Yeah,
like,
is it like just gonna?
It feels the same.
Yeah. So hopefully it's good. It looks okay. I heard from or saw on Twitter from people who played the demo on the floor that it was pretty damn fun. So I'll take their word for it. New IP.
The melee combat in that looked really good. Like, if anyone's played Chivalry and liked it, then this kind of looks like a much more polished version of that.
Yeah.
Considering that Chivalry was kickstarted and like made by I think like 6 dudes in Canada, this is much more like the next level. So I'm kind of expecting big things because the melee combat looked very complex, very smooth, very like true to like history. So I think it's going to be pretty good.
So they introduced that. They also showed off more of The Division. Gave a release date for The Division. Finally, I'm still pretty excited for this game. The gameplay was once again some of the most cringy fake comms ever to be made. It was so bad.
Can we stop and just rant on that for a second, please?
Yes, we can. You're on the right podcast.
Yeah. Hey, E3, can you please just fucking not? Just not. Just fucking stop, okay? There's 2 things you really need to stop. One of them is exclusives. Just don't.
Please.
All right? The other thing is the orchestrated, hey, this is all happening live in game. Oh, look, there's people on the stage to prove it. Don't put those people on the stage. It looks weird, especially when you cut away from the footage to show them. Nobody wants to see their face. Nobody wants to see them. We want to see what's on the screen. We want to see the gameplay, okay? It doesn't matter if it's recorded. It really doesn't, because we're not going to believe you anyways. So you might as well just record it and remove those assholes from the fucking stage, okay? I'm out. Mic drop.
Yeah. It was so bad. No one talks like this. No one talks like this when they're... Listen, I have watched, and this is the vibe they're going for. They're going for that DayZ sort of vibe. That's what they're going for. It was very clear because at the end of the gameplay demo, the dude turns on his squad, which this actually wasn't part of the DayZ vibe at all, because no one would do this if they were playing with other people sort of squatting up. The dude turns on the person that he is on comms with and kills her and everyone else. And I'm just like, what? It's like...
Brad, did you really drop group? Brad, what?
Brad, what?
play our
Did
game
you
if
drop
you're just a
group?
bad person.
Like, no one would say, "Did you drop group?" We'd be like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck did you just do? I'm gonna fuck you up."
Yeah.
No one would say flank over here. I'm going this way or cover me. Like get the fuck over there and shoot them. If
Over
Yeah.
there.
I
over
die,
there,
you're fucking dead.
over where?
I'm-
Over where? Over there.
I'm flashing back to the Battlefield 4 commercials
Oh yes.
where they're like, my bro and me jumped into a Jeep and they were like trying to blow us up and then we blew them up. It was red. Like,
Yeah.
only
and
Battlefield.
no one fucking believed you. Like, I'm sorry, like absolutely no one. That is like the least genuine thing anyone's ever said ever.
Yeah.
Same thing, just live.
Because it was like at the end of that, it was clear. It was like, oh, we're trying to tap into like that survival game aspect of it, even though this is not really what that game is. Like, it doesn't seem like it's that at all. But like, he's in a squad with people. Like, it would be like if the 5 of us got on and played DayZ, and then Tim just turned around and killed us all after we got a
Something I
bunch of
would
loot.
do.
Well, he's on
Something I would
voice
do.
comms playing with us, and we'd be like, "What are you doing?" Like, that would never happen. That would never happen.
I
Like,
can guarantee that.
it was so bad. But I still have hope for the game itself to be good. They also showed off Anno 2205. If you're into like Civ / building games, Anno is really in depth. And 2205, you go to the fucking moon and build shit. So, I mean, you know, it's interplanetary, so you will have settlements on Earth as well. It looked really good. They also showed off a bit more Rainbow Six Siege, a new Trackmania, which I am super pumped for because Trackmania is awesome. We've had many good community nights on this channel. Trackmania Turbo looks fantastic. Looks like an even faster Trackmania, which is just ridiculous. And perhaps they showed off some Assassin's Creed as well, but nobody, anyway, nobody cares about Assassin's Creed anymore. You put like 6 out the last year. But the most interesting game to me from Ubisoft, and I don't know if you guys saw this reveal trailer or the gameplay demo, but this game looks cool as fuck. Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Looks good.
Looks really cool.
Can't wait for them to fuck it up.
It is an open world Ghost Recon. Yeah.
That's optimism.
Yeah. It looks really good. The trailer is good. The gameplay they showed looked so good. You basically squat up and do missions across the world. It's like The Crew, but Ghost Recon is basically what it looks like, which I'm totally okay with. But yeah, Ghost Recon Wildlands, one of the big highlights of their shows. I was glad that they sort of closed with that. It looks fantastic. I believe it's coming out in 2016. So yeah, many hours will be spent in that game. Also, Jason Derulo. I don't want to bring him up again, but I did. Just there. It was so bad. Ubisoft they just can't. It's like every year, you know that Ubisoft gets feedback in one way or another on this shit. You know they do. And every
like
year,
it.
they do the same thing.
They go for it.
Every year they compile
Because they
all the
get talked
complaints
about.
they had, they print them out on paper, and then they roll up meth inside of it and they smoke it down. And then they start jerking off and working on the next year's presentation at the same time.
Dear God. I
Oh my god.
I don't
I got
doubt it.
nothing. I got nothing. This is
Sounds about right, though.
yeah.
I mean-
Let's just let that stand.
So moving on to Sony, which was sort of the mic drop of the whole thing to me with Sony.
Fucking
We'll get
So
there.
good.
We'll get there. I see you already. We'll get there. So Sony comes in and we were like, well, what can anybody do to beat or tie Fallout 4 hype? Like, what can they do? There's no way. You know what they could do? Mark actually said, and I said this right before they went on. I said, Mark, you know what they could do? They could announce The Last Guardian. That's one thing they could do.
Yes,
What did they
could.
do? Holy fuck, they announced The Last Guardian and showed like a bunch of gameplay. And I was like, oh my god. And then I was like, you know what else they could do, Mark? They could finally announce that Final Fantasy VII remake thing they were going to do.
Yeah, they could.
Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, they could.
And then they fucking did.
All right. So
I was a
we're
little
flying-
girl.
We were
I
flying
think
to
Law
E3.
needs to turn off his screen because he's about to go have a wank.
I'm just- I don't need to touch anything. It's doing it all on its own. We were flying to E3. We touched down, and John has been fucking with us the whole time. He's like, oh yeah, they confirmed this on his phone. We're like, really? He's like, no. Like, he just kept making shit up. And then we touched down, and he's like, yo, Final Fantasy VII Remake confirmed. And he said it so nonchalantly. I was like, shut the fuck up. And I just kept walking. He's like, no, really. I was like, you shut your mouth. You're messing with fire right now. And it was, like, basically, I had to go on Twitter, and, like, he was showing me his Twitter feed of everybody freaking out about Final Fantasy VII, and I honestly was quicker to believe that he photoshopped a really long image of a Twitter feed of, like, people I know than to actually, I actually had to go on Twitter myself and check it. And once I was beside myself, I was sitting there trying to load the trailer in my Uber with, like, my cell phone, my cell phone signal just being completely overloaded. I was just so like, please. I was sitting there rapidly tapping it and watching one frame at a time. Eventually, I got it to actually play. They captured the feel of the slums of Midgar so well.
Yup.
They did.
It really felt the music, because here was the thing, and like what really got me with the trailer was that the music was just like kind of generic trailer music with like a voiceover kind of talking vaguely about who knows what, and then all of a sudden the very intro music of Final Fantasy VII starts playing at the very end, right before you see Barrett and Cloud just like shouldering their way through the slums of Midgar, and it's just holy fuck, it looks good. Read an interview with the guy who's directing it, I forget his name, but he seems to have a really good head on his shoulders about it. They were kind of like, well, in HD, what about those goofy moments like the Cloud cross-dressing and all those like funny moments, like the lighthearted moments? And he was like, well, without those, it wouldn't be Final Fantasy VII, would it? And I was like, thank you. That's all I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Like, that was it. He's talking about changing up some things. Like, he doesn't think the combat animation would work well with the new... And I totally get that. I hope they don't change the battle style, but I hope they embellish the animations a lot. But I'm hopeful. I won't be surprised if it's not that good.
So, yeah. And then, Sony went ahead and said, yeah, we're kickstarting, we're helping out these dudes to kickstart Shenmue 3. So it's just like... I mean, what?
Bombs everywhere.
And
just
then
dropped.
$3 million, like, in
like
20 hours.
Yeah, and it went way over. And then they also showed off a game called Horizon Zero Dawn, like in the
Which
middle
looks
of
awesome.
this,
That
game
which
looks
looks
so
awesome.
good.
It is
It's
PS4
fucking-
exclusive.
Okay,
but
just to throw in some buzzwords on that.
yeah,
Redhead, dreadlocks, dinosaurs, Skynet, AI, post-apoc,
Crossbow.
badass.
it looks awesome. It looks
Yeah.
awesome. It looks awesome. They also showed off Street Fighter V a little bit. I'm gonna kind of go a little quicker. We're running insanely long, but it was a big week.
No Man's Sky as well.
No Man's Sky was finally shown, and they talked a lot more about it. Also confirmed for PC at the same exact time as PS4. No delay, no anything like that, which is good because that game needs to be on PC.
And Black Ops 3.
They did show Black Ops 3. We were waiting all day. We were like, when is the Call of Duty trailer? And then it happened.
You know they're going to show it
No,
sometime.
we didn't really care. We were just like kind of like, where is it? Because I was like, they showed the new Hitman, which looked pretty fantastic actually. They showed off some Firewatch, which you should really be excited for that game. If you haven't seen Firewatch footage, go check it out. Firewatch looks awesome. They also showed a bunch of Devolver games, which are like insane beat 'em ups, and like Viking Dark Souls, which is ITER, which I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that right. It's EITR. It looks crazy awesome. Also, some more Star Wars Battlefront. They showed the co-op stuff, which was cool. So Sony, really, really good job as always. Like their whole conference was done quite well. My only complaint about their stuff was that they let No Man's Sky dude have 3 minutes, like, of gameplay, and it was like, dude, like, that's a little, I don't know, that's
a little much.
little short.
Little press for time.
So yeah, Sony did super well. Square Enix was the next day. Their franchise, their thing was the most awkward thing to watch the whole time. It was just so awkward. They just threw up business people, and it was really rough. Not as cringy as Ubisoft, but still like pretty. Oh man, like it was rough.
I already forget the Square Enix one.
Yeah,
I-
exactly.
I feel like it wasn't
It was super boring.
anything.
I got a Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer, and that's all I care
They
about.
showed off Kingdom Hearts 3. They
It looks
showed
really
some Deus Ex Mankind Divided footage, which looks really good. They announced Nier 2, which if you've heard of Nier is quite a good RPG, and they're now going to make a sequel for it. A new Star Ocean game, and the rest of the stuff was announced pretty much at other conferences. They also made a point to show off Lara Croft Go, which is a mobile Tomb Raider. Like they were like, yeah, we'll make a couple minutes of this show devoted to this. It'll be great. It was very strange. And then the first ever PC gaming show happened. They showed off a lot of VR stuff. Star Citizen. They showed some more of Dean Hall's Ion. They showed new Rising Storm 2 expansion, Vietnam, which is cool as hell. That game's pretty cool if you've never tried it out. They showed out the new fucking roller coaster tycoon game called Planet Coaster, which you should be hyped for because it looks really good. Some more No Man's Sky. Blizzard did some stuff. Whispers of Oblivion, which is sort of a packaging of missions that will go in between the last expansion, Legacy of the Void, which is pretty cool. They'll be free to play, which is very cool. Day 9 did a pretty good job of hosting as well. Probably the best host at E3 overall, which you would expect. He knows what he's doing.
Yep.
But the only complaint that I heard about the PC gaming show, I've only caught snippets of it. I did not actually get to watch it live, which kind of sucked. Was that it was 3 hours long. It was super
long. I love the format of it, but they gave every developer I felt like that came up enough.
Yeah.
They gave them all the time they wanted to talk, which is cool and all. It's just if you're going to do that, schedule less people. But it was their first one. They've learned. I'm sure they'll
they'll
cut it
clean
down
up.
for next
I
year.
hope they do it again. AMD showed off their new video cards, which haven't technically been put out yet. The Fury cards in this very cool little case. So we'll finish off the
Most
E3
important
stuff.
thing from the PC gaming show: Killing Floor 2 is not going to have a stat reset.
Exactly.
Brandon's
and it looks
happy.
so
I can
much
play
like-
more now.
They're adding more gore to the game too. The
More
gore is already through the roof right now. They're adding more gore. Think of it as Borderlands 2 with all the physics on it or whatever. Whenever you make something turn to goop with acid, it looks like that but better, obviously. So.
And if you want more of the hardware stuff, our hardware podcast will be on next Tuesday, not this Tuesday. So it'll be out, new build guides and all that. If you haven't seen our build guides, go check out the website, KBMOD.com. All
I
right.
hope they do that PC gaming show again because I thought that was really cool and just basically focusing on some games that had already been talked about in certain ways, but really leaning into the the PC aspects. It's just I thought that was a really cool. I hope they get sponsors and stuff in future years and can do it again.
So we'll finish off all this business, and there was a lot of it. My overall feeling before we go to a game of the show type deal, my overall feeling from this E3 was it was the most positive feeling that I have had coming out of an E3 in a long time. Very excited for the future of games from it, which I haven't necessarily felt the last couple years, and I think part of that was just console shit talking because the PS4 and Xbox One were coming out or had just come out, so everyone was in a in-between state, and all they could do was try to top one another rather than try to put out good games. But this year seemed to be all about games. We don't talk about Nintendo here. We don't talk about Nintendo.
We don't even need to talk about Nintendo.
Plus,
They did this to themselves.
They did it. Also, Nintendo puts this is a PC gaming channel overall, and Nintendo does literally nothing with that platform. So, also they announced nothing of consequence at all. Whereas,
The new 3-player Zelda could be kind of cool because that was a relic that this is obviously a follow-up to Four Swords Adventures, which was way ahead of its time because there was no online capability back then. I mean, there was, but not for Nintendo.
yeah.
So now it's that's the only thing that was kind of cool to me.
But yeah, Nintendo. See, the way I said it was Sony was like a genie, just rubbing a bottle, and all these wishes were being granted. They were just bestowing wondrous things out of fiction upon us. And then Nintendo was like, I know you guys want a new Metroid, but what we're going to give you instead is like Metroid Basketball Soccer. Okay? Is that cool? For 3DS too. We're not going to put it on the Wii U.
And like 20 minutes of this lady who knits talking about Yarn Yoshi figurines. Because, that's totally what you want, right? Yeah.
That's all I came out for was the knitting.
Yeah.
So
You
instead
want a
of
good
getting...
knitting game? You play that other one with the guy who was all shaky. What was it called again? Yarny.
Oh, Yarny. Yeah.
Yarny.
Yeah.
And then we got a new Star Fox. But sort of. I thought it looked like crap, which was
It looked like something
unfortunate.
that came out 10 years ago.
Yes, it looked awful. Awful.
Nostalgia. They're going for the nostalgia. That's
People
all.
were like,
Yeah,
it
not
was
the-
funny because they announced it and people were like, oh my god, Star Fox. Wait, what?
Cuphead is the way to do nostalgia the right
Yeah.
way.
God, it was.
This is true.
So we talked about Nintendo anyway. Didn't mean to do that.
We'll just erase that part out of the.
Yeah.
I blacked out for a
That's
second.
good.
It happens.
All right. Game of the show. Blah. I think I already know what your answer is, but what was your game of the show for E3?
I know you think it's Final Fantasy VII, but we just haven't seen enough of it yet. I'm sorry. I'm
You
gonna
haven't
have to
seen
give it to
anything,
Fallout
really.
4.
Fallout 4? Tim?
Fallout 4. That's how you fucking announce a game.
It is. It is. They did it the
Me?
right way. Tons of gameplay. Yeah. Tim?
Yeah.
Mine obviously is going to be Kingdom Hearts 3. I love the look of that trailer. Just with old Xehanort, old Ericus talking, it just sent chills down my spine. The game actually looks phenomenal. They're building it on Unreal 4, and just all the lights, all the magic, all the shit just looked amazing on it. So I'm just so excited for that game. I just need a release date. That's all.
Shannon, this is a dumb question, but what's your
Yeah.
game of the show?
Fallout 4, Fallout 4, Fallout 4, Fallout 4.
Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, I think Fallout 4, it's like Fallout 4 and Doom are the two that I'm most interested in. And then it also just so happens that I also think they were like some of the best announcements. And like Fallout 4, the fact that it's actually coming soon, I'm generally biased towards
Yeah.
a game that is actually like in front of us, rather than like a game, announcements of games that we will see at next year's E3. Like I just can't, I don't get that excited for games that are really far off.
Yeah, exactly.
And Fallout and Doom are both, within the next year. So looking forward to those for sure.
I actually I don't want to go with Fallout 4, but I gotta go with Fallout 4. Like I can't.
Yeah, you do.
Is that a
Wait.
unanimous?
And the main reason is because of how it was presented, as you said, like it was.
Well,
they
like
showed
it was Bethesda's first conference,
Mhm.
right? And then you look at stuff like EA and Ubisoft, and it's just like, just look at what Bethesda did. Like they just didn't mess around at all, and they just dropped bomb after bomb after bomb.
Yep.
And granted, like they might not be able to do that every year because they do have like some pretty marquee releases this year coming up.
Yeah.
But that's just like that's how you do it. Like don't mess around, give the people what they want, and then give them something they didn't know they wanted with like Fallout Shelter and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
It felt like they were kind of going back to the roots of old school E3 announcements, where you had something in development for a long time and you didn't announce it until you were ready to go with like commercials and all sorts, and you were ready to just start selling it basically, or at least, that year. So it kind of felt like Bethesda went back to like an old school way of doing things. And I really respect them for that. That was cool.
yeah, it was good. I gotta go with Fallout 4 because I saw a lot of gameplay. Had they shown me a lot of Dark Souls 3 gameplay, that probably would have been it. But I still know very little about Dark Souls 3. Because that franchise, much like Shannon and Fallout, that franchise is like, that is the one for me. But I saw nothing, so I have nothing to go on with that game. So I gotta go with Fallout 4. That's everybody but Tim with Fallout 4. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll win best game of E3 from whatever the panel is that they have that does that. So, yeah, they were also super honest. Bethesda was like super honest about everything too. There was no shenanigans,
I love that quote. What was it? It was with Fallout Shelter, and Todd Howard was just like, Yeah, it's a gimmick, but as far as gimmicks go, it's the fucking best gimmick I've ever seen. Like, he just laid it out. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, Todd.
Just straight into it. Oh my god, how did I forget that game? Prince Storm. Thank you for reminding me.
Shadow Warrior 2,
The
yeah.
reason I forgot about it, we'll tack this on the end here. The reason I forgot about it is it wasn't announced during any conference. It was just a thing on the Twitch stream. But if you didn't play the first Shadow Warrior remake, you should. It's really good.
I'm playing it right now on Sunday mornings.
Shadow Warrior 2 looks awesome. It looks like more of that with killing floor type gore and 4-player co-op now, which is awesome. And it's drop in, drop out co-op. So
that'd
those
be cool.
games, that game is awesome. So it looks fantastic. It'll probably be $30 on launch too. So it'll be a nice cheap game. Enter the Gungeon too. God, you're all reminding me of these really good games. Enter the Gungeon looks fantastic. Did you see that, Blah? Because you would like the shit out of that.
I did not. No.
I hope it has
like-
4-player co-op.
It's like a
Like
bullet
local
hell
co-op.
Isaac, but you just use guns and like you're
There's
killing
so
like
much
these
going
bullet
on.
enemies. There's tons of shit going on.
I feel like I've heard of Enter the Gungeon, but I don't think I've ever played
They had
it.
a big segment on the Twitch channel.
I think there's this trailer up on Steam right now
Yeah,
for
it's
it.
in was it Adult Swim or Devolver? I think it was Devolver.
Yeah, I think I
yeah,
remember
Devolver.
They
seeing
will
it
run right after the other. Yeah.
like maybe at another convention. Like I don't know, it might have been. Let me check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Enter
it's
the
Devolver.
Enter the Gungeon looks fantastic. It's not coming out till 2016. It's on Steam right now, but you can't buy it.
Yeah, there's a
sort of
trailer
weird.
on Steam as well. And it's cool because it's got like, you can roll and it gives you iframes and shit. so you
Yeah,
can
it's like
just
Nuclear
dodge through stuff.
Throne. Nuclear Throne crossed with Isaac, kind of a deal.
Yeah.
Because it's like the isometric kind of view of Isaac, and you go to different rooms, but it's all guns and sort of bullet hell stuff like Nuclear Throne. So, yeah. All right. New releases for this week coming up. Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition. Devil May Cry 4 was really good, so you might want to check that out. These all come out on Tuesday. Batman
The only game that matters this week.
Arkham Knight
That's a huge
comes out
one.
Tuesday.
can't
It's a huge
wait.
one. They showed an insane trailer during the Sony conference for that. Just insane. And the Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward expansion comes out.
Which people are already playing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been out sort of in like a beta kind of thing.
Yeah, like a closed beta stuff thing.
Early access,
Yeah.
pre-order
That-
type thing.
Yeah.
That game's really good anyway, and this expansion really is changing some stuff in it. So, and this is in the document. We're not going to talk about it, but there's a Shannon Z Fatcock.
I saw that.
Photoshop in
I
here.
just scrolled down and saw that. I was like, okay, that's a thing.
It's because you were saying just think of me as John
It's
earlier.
John,
So I
yeah.
said someone
Someone
shot me.
White, literally. Good. I actually love the new last name. I could totally adopt that. I think I could, I'm the right man
It's
for the job.
intimidating. Yeah.
So, yeah. Hey, folks. I'm here.
All right, guys, we're going to move quickly on here to the viewer questions this week. The first one via Twitter. Keep in mind, you can ask us every week. We call out for Twitter questions before the podcast. You can tweet them at us at KBMOD Gaming on Twitter or email us community@kbmod.com. But as we've said previous weeks, if you email us, it better be damn good for me to read a whole email. Okay? Just letting you know now. It better be good. First one via Twitter. Epic Failer says on Twitter, which E3 press conference would be best in bed?
Sony easily because it just pulls out some shit I wasn't expecting but never knew I wanted.
Now I'm into it. I'm real into it all of a sudden.
I'm like, damn. I was like, I never thought you were a freak like that. And now all of a sudden you're doing some crazy shit that I've only seen in pornos and my wildest dreams.
I don't know.
Hell yeah.
I just imagine laying there in bed and Aisha Tyler going, make me a meme.
Stop.
Please, I'm uncomfortable.
Up.
I'm
Stop.
uncomfortable.
All right, Brandon, let's hear yours.
I go with Bethesda because you don't realize the endurance you have until you watch that.
All right.
There's just that one moment, the battle cry, where things get dark for a second. You're like, oh, ooh.
Yeah. I'd go with Bethesda too for obvious reasons. I like that they start off strong, they finish even stronger, and they're wanting more.
there
So
you go.
I'm good with that.
Man, I want to go with Sony, but I feel like, man, about 10 minutes into that, I'm probably spent. I'm probably spent.
Fair
10
enough,
minutes
fair
in, 10 minutes in, they bring out No Man's Sky, and I'm like, what is he doing here? What is happening? And I'm not sure what's going on. And then Call of Duty happens, and I'm just like, oh, man.
Yeah, that's
Well.
when things get a little. That's
We're
the
back where we started.
I mean, can we have round 2, Sony, or do we need to keep going? I don't.
You need to go back to what you know, Call of Duty.
I go with Bethesda. I could go with Bethesda overall. I really wanted Sony.
It's
Sony
the
looked
best in
good.
bed. It's the best lay you're ever gonna have, so you might as well just pick it because you know there's not gonna be anything better than that.
It's
They
true.
know all your sweet spots, and they don't make you wait for it. They just fucking give it to you.
They do. They
Yeah.
do. They did right away. Just bam, Doom.
PC because I can go for 3 hours.
Bethesda's like, yeah. By the way, I really want to try a threesome with my really hot, new friend. She's in the closet right now. Bring her out.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
can fuck her right now
right now.
if you have an iPhone.
And then you're like, fuck, all I've got is this Android device.
That was
Damn it! I have a 1+1.
wait, I think there's a 24-hour shop down the road. Let me go buy some. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
All right, next question. James is Ninja on Twitter. I know Blah has tattoos, but does anyone else, and what are the cast's view on tattoos? I have none. I have no tattoos, but
Tattoos are fucking rad.
I'm cool with them. My wife has like 4 or 5 now. She like keeps just going out and getting a new tattoo. I didn't even know she had one on her foot. I was like, what is it?
I don't have any personally, but I think, if you want to get them, go for it. I just don't have the money.
I'm actually thinking of a tattoo right now. I'm thinking I'm gonna get a half sleeve that's entirely just video games.
That'd be
Mostly
kinda cool.
like video game characters, and maybe a few other things worked in there, like coffee and maybe like a little bit of music. I want to get like a coffee cup somewhere in there, but the focal piece is actually going to be Oscar from Dark Souls 1. I think it was a promo
nice.
art piece of Prepare to Die edition,
Yep.
where he's just on his knees and there's just a ray of light and he's just fucking done. Like he's just on his knees with his arms splayed out and he's just like dead.
Based Oscar.
And I just think that's a really beautiful piece of work. And Dark Souls is one of my favorite games easily. So it's gonna be that. It's just gonna be like a ton of. I plan Shovel Knight, the kid from Bastion, like all the games that are really like big with me, but don't merit their own tattoo to stand alone. It's just kind of like it's gonna start from my Ocarina of Time tattoo on my shoulder. And just work down to my elbow, I think. But I think it's important to get things that are important to you, that are going to be important to you in 15 years. And so I think a lot of people might be critical of like getting a video game tattoo, but that's the thing about tattoos is that's what's important to you, not to anybody else.
Yeah.
I see a lot of times people get a tattoo that they're really happy with and they put it on social media and people just shit on it. And I mean, that's the nature of social media and the internet in general, is you're just going to shit on everything that you don't like, that you wouldn't get, that you wouldn't play, whatever. But it's important. That's kind of like the test of a tattoo. If a bunch of people make fun of you for getting that tattoo, are you still going to like it? So plenty of people taking shots at me for my video game tattoos. I still fucking love them. So yeah, I would say that they're worth it.
Yeah, I thought about getting the dark sign from Dark Souls, like the ring.
Yeah,
fire
that'd be
ring
sick.
thing.
The fiery
Yeah,
symbol.
but
That'd be really
I
cool.
have a tramp stamp that just says "Gotta go fast."
Like some bad Sonic fan art on it, all noodly armed and looked like he was
Probably
drawing
not
on a
going to
piece
look
of
great in a
paper.
decade, but I'm happy with it right now.
Yeah, that was actually a thing. Everybody says like, "Oh, what are these things gonna look like when you're 50, when you're 60?" And then finally, somebody made an article of a bunch of seniors, like really old ass people that are just covered head to toe in tattoos, and they look fucking rad. So like, lately, I'm way more like, just fucking get tattoos. Just get tattoos. If it's important to you, go for it.
Shannon has a Fallout 4 tattoo, or will.
Maybe someday. don't know. I'm a bit of a bitch when it comes to tattoos. I'm afraid of needles, so I don't have.
Oh yeah, if you have like
damper
that
on things.
phobia,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
All right. Next question. Bus Hus via Twitter. It wouldn't be a KBMOD podcast without a food question. What is your favorite go-to appetizer for parties? Not sure if this
For
is to make
parties.
or eat.
If
Well,
you just said
kind of
appetizer,
party.
this would be so much easier.
I
Like
know.
a real party, like an actual like dinner party, or are we talking like, where you have all your friends over and you tell them all to bring their own drinks and then you just drink? Because for those, I just
I would
open up a
call
bag
that a
of
real
cheap
party.
drinks. Yeah, because I just open up a bag of like cheap nachos and just pour it out.
See,
and,
you've
like,
done well.
an old El Paso salsa in a bowl. There you go. Dinner served.
I'll go for one of two things. I'll go for either bacon wrapped shrimp or
Okay.
something we actually I had at E3, believe it or not, fried macaroni and cheese bites.
Oh,
Those are good.
I-
They have those at Sheets, and they're actually really good.
I'm gonna go with something my wife makes called Devils on Horseback, and they're bacon wrapped dates, and they are freaking delicious, and they're stuffed with goat cheese as well. They
Damn, that
are
sounds good.
amazing. They are amazing.
Sorry, I bumped my mic. Buffalo wings.
Just eats a
I-
wing. There
I
we
just
go.
have some.
Final,
I'd say just good old like little wiener, like little
little wieners.
yeah, whatever the hell they're called. I don't know what the fuck the name's called, but you can just put the
Cocktail
toothpick
wiener.
in
So
them.
you
and
know
you
what
can-
they're
yeah.
called.
okay. Okay.
Now, are we talking just like little wieners, or are we talking like pigs in a blanket where they're wrapped in dough? And
See, it
Hooked up.
has
Pigs
to
in a
be.
blanket are strong.
they are.
They're good. It's just sometimes the dough that you wrap them in, it has to be the right dough, because people do it with the wrong dough, and it's just not.
What's the wrong dough?
I don't know. It has to be. It has to be a good
Wrong
ratio between the wiener and the dough. Like if there's not a good ratio,
Oh, okay.
if the dough overpowers the
that.
wiener, then it's not a good. It's not a good time.
Saying
Yeah,
you
the
don't
wiener's
like
gotta be the star.
wiener's like too far exposed.
Yeah.
Exactly. You have to.
I also don't like it when
Gotta get good wiener coverage. is what
Yeah.
I'm
I don't like it
hearing.
when my wiener's not the focus.
Last question. Grim Angel via Twitter. In your guys' opinion, what makes for a good follower/companion in a game? Emotional attachment, storage space, etc. I gotta go with a good follower/companion isn't that fucking fairy from Ocarina of Time.
All right, fair enough.
Listen.
Also, Elizabeth from Bioshock, you are
Fuck a catch.
out. Booker has caught too much.
Yeah, that actually got annoying by the end of the game for sure.
Booker needs to not catch any more.
To me, a good companion is effective but not super noticeable. I don't want them to be like my focus of the game all the time, like
Yeah.
Elizabeth, where the camera keeps like snapping back to her and shit, and it's like really. It was actually very disruptive when she would throw you something, but at the same time, you had to take what she was throwing. She would throw you valuable shit. But I didn't want to like focus on her that much, and like she was very important to the story, so I get it. Like that gets a pass. That wasn't like terrible to me. I think that like the companions from like Diablo 2 were awesome because they were
Strong.
customizable. They were effective. It was constantly like you were looking for gear that you could put on your guy in addition to you, which was
Yes.
fun. And when they die, it's not the end of the world. You just go and revive them.
Yep.
You know?
I'm actually with you on the Diablo 2 companion thing. Totally with you. That's a
For
good
me-
answer.
I have to kind of agree with what somebody said in chat that the best part of a good companion is like good pathing,
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
Well,
Can't
God.
get in your way.
so that
Get
you
in your
don't
way,
ever
it's
have to
over.
feel like it pulls you out of the immersion of having to
Mhm.
manage where they're going and what they're doing.
Yeah.
I actually personally think that Fallout did a really good job of that, especially with like the characters in Fallout 3, like Fox and Jericho. I never found that I had any issues with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
Definitely.
that
Dude in
pathing
New Vegas
thing,
was my boy.
that pathing thing, dude. Diablo
Ooh.
2, another is a bad example of pathing. Like necromancer minions, just like half of them on one platform, half of them on the other, like all kinds of
Yeah, it was pretty bad. At least if you got far away enough, they just teleported to you.
yeah.
Kind of a cheap solution.
Man, fucking Ocarina of Time. Hey!
For
I like
me,
when they just don't get in your way. And like
for me,
I think of companions in WoW, like
Yeah.
the little just kind of something that like tags along with you. It's kind of it's not. It's like you can get attached to it if you want to, but it doesn't. It's like it's not taking anything away if you don't want to.
are you
Yeah.
talking
If
like
you don't want them
the
there.
little pets that you can summon in and out, like the
Yeah.
Wolpertinger or whatever it was called?
Yeah.
Oh, those. I thought you meant like Warlock and Hunter Peps.
Oh, those
well,
were
I
awesome
mean,
too.
Yeah,
Those-
like I guess those two. Like either way is fine. Like something that can help you or something that is just like right there. But again, like not something that is I don't know. Yeah,
My-
not something that's super essential.
My pet bat, Hot Pool Boy, was my companion for life in WoW. Hot Pool Boy was awesome.
Yo, I gotta say, Hunter Pets in World of Warcraft, like originally, before everything was super like homogenized, were awesome. Because like getting a decent pet that looked cool and also had like some good abilities and like would pump out good DPS or tank well was like super fun. And I got attached to mine, man. I had like this black lion called Elwood. Elwood was a beast. He was my
Yeah,
best
like
friend.
I remember the creature handler profession in Star Wars Galaxies was kind of that same way. It's like just being able to get cool looking pets. And like, and kind of like you became attached to them
Yep.
like by making your own story.
Oh, my more recent hunter, which I ended up not really playing too much, had a turtle named Dan Johnson.
Hey guys.
Well,
So I mean, I was pretty attached.
As you would be.
Yep.
All right. That is it for episode 195 of the KBMOD podcast. We have one more thing, but that is it for the podcast proper. Thank you, Shannon, for coming on this
Thanks
evening.
for having me, guys.
I hope you
It
had a
was
good time.
fun. I did.
And if you had a good time, like Shannon did, you may want to review the podcast on a little program called iTunes, which Brandon will now tell you about.
Yeah, I actually like if to demonstrate my dedication to this cast. I'm on a different computer than my normal computer. I didn't even have iTunes. So I went through this very process I'm about to tell you about of downloading this program that I hate just to find this featured review. So if I can do it, like I did it before the cast, it didn't take very long. It was like reasonably painless. So you can do it too. Go on iTunes, you rate us 5 stars, and ideally you leave some sort of review that tells us, it tells us something about you. You can tell a story. I mean, we get so many different people listening to the cast, and we never really get to see your face or hear your story. And this is your chance to tell us about you. So it's amazing just how far, like, the podcast community here spreads. So please let us know. We have, I pulled this stat. We have 261 out of 272 people have rated this podcast 5 stars. So if you want to be like a normal person, like in the majority of people, you want to rate this 5 stars. You don't want to be the guy that like doesn't do that, and now you really stand out in the crowd.
So, this week, we had some honorable mentions. Chodor Hodes gave us a review. Another member of the Hodes family. This one, I believe he probably just says Chodor and walks around. I'm gonna
You'd be
assume-
right.
Yes. I would assume his entire review was just Chodor. Mike Hawk 2, Mike Hawk the second has put another review. Big shout outs to Mike Hawk. Rusty Cunts. God, these people, the pretty good family. And Dan K. Meme Cockfit, who is apparently married into the Cockfit family now. Good old Wilma Cockfit.
Yeah, perhaps to Wilma Cockpit.
Perhaps to Wilma.
he took Wilma's
Cockfit.
name, which was nice. So you don't see that too often.
Yeah, it's a really good thing to do. What is this? And Brandon has put, what is this life even anymore? Step up your meme game. He's put that sort of warning on this. But the review this week is titled Greetings by a Clarence Loudcome, which, I mean...
All right.
Good.
By the way, I want to say once again, these are real reviews on iTunes. So we didn't make these up. Hi,
You can
guys.
read them if you have nothing better to do.
Yeah. Hi, guys, and occasional gals love the podcast. I've recently found out that I'm going to be a father for the first time. My fiance and I are very happy and very excited. Naturally, becoming a parent is making me sentimental about my own upbringing. I intend to pass on the family motto to my kids and encourage them to pass it on to their own children. I leave you all with the Loudcome family motto and wish you all a great day. May you come here or there, neither meek nor sullen, but with fervor. That's a good I mean, if you want to pass that on to your children, go right ahead, Clarence. May you come here or
Make sure
there,
they're old enough.
neither meek nor sullen, but with fervor. Sounds like a line of like 1890s poetry.
It sounds like almost like a medieval family.
Yeah. Well, thank you to Clarence Loudcome.
Good.
If you enjoyed this podcast this week, please leave your own review. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow us at KBMOD Gaming. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/KBMOD. And make sure you're following on Twitch, twitch.tv/KBMOD. We do this podcast every week, 10 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be live next Sunday night at 10 p.m. And then also the Hardware podcast is about a week away here. So you'll want to tune in for that as well. Big thanks to Shannon once again for coming on this evening. And that is it. We'll see you guys next time for episode 196.
Yay.
Oh god, there's still iced tea all over this thing.
Yatta!